Okay, so I think we're live. Finally here. Hi, Miranda Lee. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Paula. Good to see you too. Sorry I'm late, but it's college football season, so it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 11/24, 2024. It's good to see everybody here tonight. Hey, Heather Brown. How are you? Good to see you. Paula's here. Miranda Lee's here. Miranda Lee was first. She gets a cookie. Um, So, anyways, I'm gonna jump on. Gonna do my uh, intro, and I'll be right back. We're gonna go over true crime cases of the week and do the missing person cases. But it's good to see everybody here. Hope everybody's doing well. Getting cold. So let me play my intro, and I'll be right back. I think. Good to see everybody, though. Okay, so I am here. That's the intro. You need some therapy. You okay, Heather? I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a crazy week again. Lots of stuff going on. Good to see everybody, though. This is the place for Saturday night, early Sunday morning therapy for sure. It's good to see you. Jenny's here. If I had rhythm, I'd dance like Carlton from Fresh Prince. It's so funny. Good to see you, Jenny. Hi, Jenny. How are you? Good to see you. Hope everybody's doing well again, like I said. So what do we want to do first? Let's do this here. We'll do. Did we do this last week? The Veronica Butler autopsy thing? I don't think so. So let's go to this here. Hold on a second. I hope everybody's doing well. You're just fine. Good. Good. That's good. I hope I hope you stay fine. Heather's an awesome person. Everybody in here's an awesome person. All right, let's go. Let's get rid of my face here. Mino Dino is here. Hey Mino, hey, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, pal. What am I doing? We're gonna do this here. All right, so this is going back to the Veronica Butler and I forget the two Kansas women that went missing and then they were found unalived in Kansas. I actually think they were found. Where were they found? They were found in Oklahoma, right? But anyways, this is the autopsy detail of the Kansas woman that's been released after a judge denied a motion that would have kept it sealed. So they finally released this. So this is going to be a little disturbing, a little triggering. So if you don't want to hear this, you might want to kind of just put it on mute or just, wondering if your battery was hold off alive. Yes, let's hope Dean's battery will last a little while tonight. Hi, Paula. How are you? Good to see you. Paula's in here. All right, so let's do this. So this is the autopsy. Like I said, this is going to be kind of triggering. This woman here fought for her freaking life here. So, like I said, I don't know if people remember this, but the two ladies went missing. They were one chaperone and the mother of two children, I think, and they just disappeared, and then they found him unalived, and just a brutal overall crime here. So let's do this.
Michelle Dupree. She is a former police detective, medical doctor, former medical examiner, and retired forensic pathologist. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Dupree. The 30 sharp wounds here, stabs and incisions. It's an awful report to read. What stood out specifically?
Necessarily Evil, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see Necessarily Evil in here. Dean, we're going to get you a backup battery. Yeah, we're going to get him a backup battery for sure. I don't know how he lasts on his OnlyFans channel.
To you, Dr. Dupree.
Well, certainly the number of wounds was one thing, but she did have at least 4 wounds that would have been fatal, likely, and those were.
I think this woman knew her attackers, so she was doing everything she possibly could to get away, but she just didn't.
Up around her neck. Also, the amount of defensive wounds that she had. She was fighting for her life. I mean, she put up a good fight. She just had such extensive damage and such severe wounds.
Yeah, it said 10 of the wounds on Veronica, and they called them, quote, defensive style. What does that mean, and how are they able to figure out if it's defense a defense wound?
Well, we call it defensive wounds if it's on the extremities of the body, usually the hands or feet, because if someone is attacking you, you're going to find.
Well, let's see what's going on. It's December 3rd, right? Dean's OnlyFans depletes his battery. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Hey, woman doing Creepin'. How are you? Good to see you. We're just going over the autopsy thing for Veronica Butler, the missing mom case here, the missing mom's case in Kansas. I think everybody knows what that case was about.
Fight back with your hands and even your feet. And so if there are wounds in those areas, typically they are considered then defensive wounds.
Going outside, go lie down.
Okay, so that's how they know it's from essentially like fighting back?
Exactly.
Okay. The report mentions that both of Veronica's jugular veins were defected. Do you think that's, first of all, what does that mean? And do you think that's ultimately what caused her to die?
It is. That's why the medical examiner that did the autopsy actually stated that she died very quickly. The jugular veins in your neck are going to be carrying a large amount of.
Like I said, this is going to be triggering again. Hope everybody. I think Miss Barbara's here. Timmy's Legacy is here. Good to see you, Miss Barbara. Hope you're well. Just going over this brutal case here for the Kansas City moms that went missing in I think it was last spring. Pretty sure, anyways.
Of blood to your brain and to your body, and so when those are injured or incised or cut in some way.
So this woman here was in a custody battle of her kids, and she went on I think it was they went to pick them up, and she had a chaperone with her, and they both just went missing. They found the car. Remember, they found the car, and then they found them shortly after that. I think about a month or so after that, and then they basically arrested her the significant other's whole family. Basically, was involved in the unaliving here, suspected anyways. So they're going over, this is Veronica Butler here. They're going over her autopsy release here.
You're going to bleed out relatively quickly.
How quickly? Because I'm just thinking with all the defensive wounds, could she have been stabbed in the jugular and then been fighting back, or would have been the fighting back would that happen first and then she would have been stabbed in the neck area? I mean, how do you think the timeline would look?
Well, I think given the amount of wounds and what I interpret as a lot of rage in this assault. I think that it probably all happened very quickly. She probably suffered some of the defensive wounds early on, but also even after her jugular veins were injured, she probably still fought back for a short time. But once those jugular veins were actually injured, her death was fairly quick after that.
So let's hold on a second. Let me do this here so we can get. So these are the four people that they arrested here. This is the grandma. I don't know who this is here. Jillian Kelly. These are the suspects that were arrested. I think there's actually 5. But all of these people basically had a hand in all of it. So let's go back to this here. This was a pretty creepy crime. That poor woman had nothing to do with this, and she was just kind of caught up in the wash, so to speak. The other one.
It's just terrible to think about. How do you think all of this will be used with the prosecution? And are there any holes that is there anything that the defense could pick up on in the autopsy report that you've seen, or do you think this will just help tell the story in terms of how awful it was from the prosecution side?
I really think this is going to help the prosecution a lot. There's so many wounds. This was an act of rage. This was somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Thanksgiving's coming. Oh, and by the way, it's my first daughter's birthday in about 2 hours. So there's that. But Thanksgiving's coming too, so that helps.
He was in a frenzied attack on this young woman, and I think that is going to help the prosecution.
So she had 9 of these kind of wounds here, 21 incised wounds, wounds on top and back of all of these places here, multiple defensive style incised wounds. Victoria's death was very quick. So that's telling me that something was going on with her neck there, but
immensely.
Yeah, and we're just looking again. I mean, the 9 stab wounds, 21 incised wounds. I mean, you've seen a lot of cases. This seems extreme in terms of how badly hurt.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. Thank you very much for that. JC Ann is here. JC Ann has a great channel. How come Miss Barbara doesn't have a wrench? Didn't I give you a wrench? JC Ann's got a great channel. I saw. Thank you, Heather. I'll have to get that channel for everybody, but it's JC Ann. Got a great channel. I was on there the other day. All right, let's go back to this here.
Hurt she was, right?
Absolutely. And again, this is an indication of a lot of rage in this. And so it's not surprising that she would fight back, significantly. But the injuries were just too significant, especially those to her neck.
Yeah, and just the way they were found in the freezer and it was buried, and it was an awful report to read. We'll obviously be there for the court hearing.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
All right, so that's that. Keep an eye on that. I'm pretty sure there'll be more coming down the pike from that. But I just wanted to play that because they found. Thank you, Miranda. Who's the wifey needs a wrench? Who's that? My mom and dad's birthday is Monday. Happy birthday. All right, so what's going on here with this? All right, so we'll switch gears here. I'm going to play this here. This is something that I've been following for the last couple of months here. So basically, there's been 6 homicides in 10 days, and the Austin police are providing an update on these investigations that are going on. Seems like everything on the planet goes on in Austin. It's so weird. So the Austin Police Department Homicide Unit held a news conference to provide overviews and updates on the multiple homicide investigations from the past week. So let's check this out.
Homicide cases that have happened over the past 2 weeks. We are going to be briefing those cases and offering an opportunity for you all to ask questions. Please keep in mind these are active, ongoing investigations. There are going to be things we might not be able to answer, but it's simply to preserve the integrity of the investigation if that's the case. Before we get started, what I want to do is recognize not only the homicide unit, but I also want to recognize the Lone Star Fugitive.
Okay, so let me see here. A woman needs a wrench. Okay, thank you. Who's Victoria? Victoria, the Queen, Victoria? 4 CST, yes. Central Standard Time? So this is, hold on, let me back this up a little bit here. All right, here we go.
And I'll just read the statement for you now. It says, "My condolences and prayers to all involved and impacted. Loss of life is always tragic. This is particularly tragic because of the recklessness of human behavior. The Austin Police Department is working diligently with all the stakeholders including Caritas, the site management team, security, the Homeless Strategy Office, and of course, our council member, Jose Vela. Our goal is to find meaningful and pragmatic ways to ensure that there is no misalignment of intent of the location."
Did I say Victoria? I might have said Victoria. It's probably Victoria's Secret. Well, I might have said Victoria. No, that was Veronica Butler, JC. That was just going over the autopsy report for her unaliving. She was part of the missing Kansas City mom's case back in April. So they just released the autopsy, I think, early last week. Yes, Veronica. I might have said Victoria. Who knows? Freudian slip, maybe.
And impact to the community. This location houses some of our most vulnerable community members, and for some, this is a last stop for hope. That does not mean their hope should come at the cost of everyone else's safety and well-being. Finding that intersection of coexistence where everyone has a seat at the table and benefits from that seat is where we seek to be. And with that, we'll turn it over to some general questions from Lieutenant Askew, or general statements from Lieutenant Askew. Once we get to questions for the detectives, if you could raise your hand, please, and then we'll call on you for those. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming today. My name is Sheldon Askew, and like Claire said, I'm the lieutenant over the homicide and aggravated assault units. I want to start by recognizing the tragic events that have brought us here today. Anytime that anyone loses their life in the city of Austin, it not only affects the family members, the loved ones, and the friends of those who have passed, but the community at large. And the police department wants to recognize that and offer its condolences to all those that were affected. Today, we're going to give a briefing on multiple homicide cases that have happened over the past 2 weeks. We are going to be briefing those cases and offering an opportunity for you all to ask questions. Please keep in mind these are active, ongoing investigations. There are going to be things we might not be able to.
Like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. Oh, thank you, woman. Yes, it's my first daughter. All the birthdays come in basically the same month. That's how that works. Somebody was really busy in the winter. Nope, he's not dancing tonight. It's good to see everybody here. I will give Woman Doing Creamin' a wrench fairly shortly, and Miss Barbara, let me know if you want a wrench for the channel here. Timmy's Legacy. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Let me play this here. Very good. All right. Let's get back to this.
Answer, but it's simply to preserve the integrity of the investigation if that's the case. Before we get started, what I want to do is recognize not only the homicide unit, but I also want to recognize the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, the risk unit within the police department, the intelligence unit in the police department, and the civilian staff, which includes the victim services units and others who play an integral role in the investigation of these cases and the justice that we seek for the victims involved. And with that, I'll turn it over to Detective Spittler.
Ooh.
On Thursday, November 7th, 2024, approximately 4:34 p.m., Austin Police Department officers responded to the 2600 block of Rosewood Avenue for reports of a shooting. When officers arrived on scene, they found one victim, later identified as Matthew Escalante, with a gunshot wound. Mr. Escalante was transported to a local hospital.
But I think that worked. Let me know if that worked. I think I just gave a woman a wrench, so let me know if that worked.
Hospital where life-saving measures were performed. Aggravated assault detectives and crime scene specialists responded to process the scene and interview witnesses. The investigation showed that Mr. Escalante had arrived to meet someone and was then shot and killed by a suspect, who then fled the area with additional suspects. The following day, on November 8th.
Awesome. There you go. Now, if you have a channel or if you know somebody that has a channel, you can just post it in the chat. I don't mind, supporting other creators here. So if you got a channel or you know somebody that's got a channel, feel free to post it. I know Timmy's Legacy, that's Miss Barbara here. She can let's see here. I'll give her a wrench too. And you can put the petition in here too, Miss Barbara. Hold on a second.
2024 at 3:20 p.m., Mr. Escalante was pronounced deceased at the hospital. This case was then transferred to the homicide unit and is actively being investigated as Austin's 58th homicide of 2024. If there's anyone with any information, we're asking that you contact the Austin Police Department at 512-974-TIPS, TIPS. You may submit your tip anonymously through Capital Area Crime Stoppers program by visiting either austincrimestoppers.org or by calling 512-4.
I mean, there's a lot. 6 homicides in 10 days.
472-8477. A reward of up to $1,000 may be available for any information that leads to an arrest in this investigation. Is there any questions?
Do you know what the suspect and victim are beating up for?
At this time, I'm still trying to determine that. Like I said, this is still an active investigation, so we're trying to look at everything possible.
Anything else for Detective Spittler?
I guess I'll ask if that's all right. The victim, obviously they died the next day. Were they at all responsive in that day to help with the investigation, or do they have family or friends that have helped with the investigation?
No, so Mr. Escalante was not responsive during that time.
Gotcha. But friends and family, have they been cooperative at all, or have you been able to find them?
Yes, so I have been able to speak with friends, have been able to speak with family. They have been cooperating throughout the investigation and helping out in any way that they possibly can.
And have you found any of those additional suspects that fled with the primary suspect?
Not yet. So I'm still trying to work on any leads that are received by the homicide unit, which is why, again, ask the public to please, if you know anything, then call it in, and that way we can follow up on any investigative leads that may possibly lead to an arrest.
Thank you, Detective Spittler. Through Homicide 59, this is Detective Hernandez.
Hello, I'm Detective Hernandez with the Austin Police Department Homicide Unit. On Sunday, November 10th, at approximately 6:32 p.m., APD officers responded to the 1900 block of East William Cannon for a call of shoot, stab, hot shot. Multiple callers reported that a male was lying on the ground bleeding and had possibly been stabbed, cut, or possibly hit by a car. The victim could be heard in the background during the 911 calls answering questions. Officers arrived a short time later and found a male on the ground with a defect to his chest and bleeding. The male was identified as Elijah Martinez and was transported to a local hospital and was later pronounced deceased at 8:12 p.m. Aggravated assault and homicide detectives, along with crime scene specialists, responded to the scene. They processed the scene and interviewed witnesses available at that time. It was unclear if the victim had fallen on something or was attacked on or near the sidewalk area. A video canvas of the neighborhood led us to believe that the victim had been stabbed in a homeless encampment behind the AutoZone store nearby, and multiple individuals fled the area after the stabbing. We are currently working multiple leads in this case, but no suspects have been identified.
Also, let me know if the sound is good tonight. Hey, Big Fish, Small Pond, good to see you, buddy. Because last week the sound was terrible. I apologize for that. Do you know women has a, I don't even want to say that, a toe party? She said no.
Again, this is being investigated as Austin's 59th homicide of this year. Any questions?
Do you know if the suspects were also living in that homeless encampment?
It's undetermined at this time, but it's a possibility.
And do you know what led up to this? Was it an altercation?
We're still investigating the exact cause as well.
Anything else for Detective Fernandez?
Thank you.
We'll turn over to Detective Marshall. This is Homicide 60.
Good afternoon. On Wednesday, November 13th, approximately 4:15 in the afternoon, the 7800 block of South First Street, this is near First Street and Dittmer, near the intersection. Austin 911 received multiple calls of a man who had been stabbed. Police were able to arrive in less than 5 minutes and detain a suspect on scene. This was thanks to the witnesses who were able to direct the first responding officers. At that time, they detained, Luis Pedro Mariquin. Mr. Mariquin was subsequently transferred up here. We were able to speak with Mr. Mariquin. He did admit to stabbing Marco Antonio Nunez Mayan. We believe this is a personal disagreement between the two men. They knew each other from the local community down in South Austin, and he's currently in Travis County Jail. Because this was at First Street and South Dittmer, this was 4:15 in the afternoon. There are several witnesses who did come forward, but I know there were likely several more. So I am asking if anybody saw anything prior to, during, or immediately after this. We'd ask that they come forward. Any questions from there? Yeah.
Did they say what the disagreement was? What led up to this?
Just a personal disagreement. He didn't go into detail.
I mean, I'm sure this is Austin, so I'm pretty sure they have a lot of homicides, but 6 in 10 days is, I don't know, that sounds a little bit large as a number.
Other questions for Detective Marshall? Thank you. We'll go to Detective Jones for Homicide 61.
Good morning.
Oh.
On November 15th at approximately 12:42 a.m., the Austin Police Department was called to the 8400 block of Goldfinch Court about multiple calls regarding several gunshots being heard in the area and about a person being shot.
I want my $3.
Officers arrived and located a victim with obvious gunshot wounds. The victim was identified as Travis Terrell Holland, a black male born on January 24th, 1992. Travis's injuries were of such a significant nature that officers and responding emergency medical personnel immediately recognized that his injuries were not compatible with life. Travis was pronounced deceased at 1:01 a.m. One of the 911 callers reported that his brother-in-law, identified as William Jameson Bruce, a 31-year of age black male, was responsible for the shooting. William Bruce was detained near the scene by responding officers. Detectives interviewed a female victim who was walking with Travis Holland when he was shot. Detectives learned William Bruce also shot at the female victim. Fortunately, she was uninjured. William Bruce was transported to the homicide office. During an interview with a detective, Bruce admitted responsibility for the shooting.
Also, I want to do a quick shout out to our friend Southern Gal for coming on last week. She's freaking awesome. Arguably the greatest channel on YouTube. She's fantastic. So thank you, Southern Gal.
William Bruce has been arrested and has been charged with 1 count of murder and 1.
I might do a second part on the Jody Huisentruit case because I don't know, that one I think is kind of crazy. So I might do that next week. I might do a part 2 of that.
Count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is currently in the custody of the Travis County Sheriff's Office. Any questions?
Was this also a personal disagreement?
We're in the early stages of the investigation. That's still being investigated.
Anything else for Detective Jones?
Thank you.
All right, so let's get out of here. I just wanted to share that there was that going on. Let me switch gears here to this here. This is let's see here. Yes, we are. All right, so this here, teen with restraining order against ex-boyfriend found unalived as he shoots her whole entire family. And this is another one of those domestic things here. This is just such a horrible case here. This was actually done. I wanted to get to this last week, but I didn't have enough time. So let's play this here. This might be disturbing too. Let me back this up here a little bit.
Affected a whole family.
The family of a domestic violence victim sat down with CBS 21 to share how she will be remembered.
So good to have you here, Paula. Paula's awesome. She's got a channel too. Don't forget to post that here in the chat, Paula.
We're talking about 19-year-old Gabby Morgan. You see her right here. She died from a gunshot wound after filing a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend. He then drove from Altoona to Lancaster County November 8th, shot her family, and then led police on a 40-mile chase that eventually ended with a shootout as well. We have a lot to get to tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Joel D. Smith.
And I'm Jasmine Brooks. CBS 21's Elise Person is live from where Morgan's family was shot with more on who Gabby was. Elise?
Hi, Jasmine. Yes, I mean, this is the Sassafras Terrace Apartments where that initial gunfire took place, as you had mentioned, killing Gabby Morgan's mom, and those gunshots also injuring her stepdad and her older sister. Today, though, I got the chance to speak with other family members who talked to me a little bit about how they're going to remember both that mother and the daughter.
They didn't deserve this.
This here is 19-year-old Gabby Morgan. Her family describes her as a practical joker who was always looking to bring a smile to your face.
She didn't like to see people upset.
No, she didn't.
You know, even when she came over here and there were days that I was upset or wasn't feeling well, or, you know, she was always trying to make me laugh.
Gabby was shot dead on November 8th after she filed a restraining order against her boyfriend, 22-year-old Ricky Shannon.
To a fault. She was always wanted to see the best
And
in somebody, even going through the worst. I guess she wanted to see the good in Ricky.
Gabby's mom, Kimberly Day, was also shot and killed by Shannon. This here is a photo of Gabby and her mom.
You could call her at a moment's notice, and she was here.
There's two holes in my heart right now. They're in heaven now.
I agree. Paula's awesome. I agree with that 100%.
And they're watching over us.
This is just so freaking sad. 19-year-old and mother unalived in domestic violence shooting. It's just these cases just bother me. Why? You know,
Gabby met Ricky playing video games online. Her uncle says he was shocked by the news.
We never seen this type of behavior in him. But you never know what anybody's capable of. That young man affected a whole family.
Now they're left with memories.
She is my Gabs. She's just going to be missed.
And this aunt and uncle tell me they've already gotten Christmas ornaments made with photos of both Gabby and her mother to hang on the Christmas tree.
a no-go for Dino. It's so funny. We're starting to Ono language again. Oh,
this December. They say their memory, it's always going to be with them. Now, there has been a GoFundMe created to help out with the funeral expenses. You can help out and donate right on our website, cbs21.com. Live in Mount Joy, Elise Person, CBS 21 News.
Thank you so much, Elise. So CBS 21 did reach out to the Pennsylvania State Police about this for an update on the investigation. They say that she was found shot dead in Ricky Shannon's pickup truck after the shootout with police.
So what is unclear is if Shannon was the one who shot her or if she was shot in the crossfire with PSP during the shootout.
Yep, something they're still looking at tonight.
All right, so that's that. That's just another one of those domestic abuse cases there. Just sucks. All right, let's go to this idiot. This guy here is just, when you say you can't make this stuff up, you really can't. This is the missing guy who faked his own death. They've been in contact with him, so they know that he's alive. He went missing a few months ago. They basically searched an entire town, lakes, everything. They found his kayak. So I think they might have actually drained one of the lakes or something. But anyways, this guy just basically took off and left his family. He went to, I think he went to Uzbekistan or something like that. I don't know. Just a fraudster, So here's this is Law and Crime Network. This is he's been in contact with the police all along, so he's well. This guy here is just an idiot.
In a surprising twist to a baffling case, a Wisconsin father who allegedly faked his own death has now sent authorities a video confirming he is alive and safe and possibly in Europe. The video has raised even more questions about his disappearance and what is next for the man who left behind his family and a costly search effort.
How do people think they're going to get away with this stuff, right? They just, this guy's an idiot, literally.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime.
And you just got to feel bad for the kids, It's just,
Jesse Weber.
I think this guy had like two or three kids, his wife. It's just bizarre.
Well, it is certainly a shocking new twist in an already shocking case. A Wisconsin man who allegedly staged his own death 3 months ago, leaving his family, devastated, has been in regular communication with authorities. Yeah, he even sent them a video confirming he was safe and sound. What is this? I mean, we brought you this case in a previous episode of Sidebar when we had just learned that 45-year-old father of three, husband, Ryan Borgwart, allegedly staged his own death after disappearing in August under very suspicious circumstances. Borgwart left behind his kayak and belongings in Wisconsin's Green Lake, leading authorities to believe that he had drowned. But after weeks of intense searching and also a digital forensics investigation, authorities discovered what could be the chilling truth, that Borgwart instead had left the country to go to Eastern Europe, where he's now apparently holed up in an undisclosed location. And by the way, I got to say, I think with the content that we cover here on Sidebar many times, it just goes to show you how important personal safety is. And that is especially true when you think about protecting your privacy online. I think you'd be shocked at how much of your personal information is out there, like your address and your phone number. Do you ever wonder why you get so many spam calls and emails? That's because all that information is public. But that is where our sponsor Incogni comes in. It is a service that helps you take control of your online privacy by removing your personal data from .com/sidebar. Ina, good to see you again. It's been a minute since we've had you on Sidebar. And what did I think? What better case to bring you on to talk about one of the most bizarre stories I've heard in quite some time? Just overall, overall, just thoughts on this. The shock when we talk about a father who's still alive.
Yeah, I can kind of make fun of Canadians because I'm Canadian. I got probably 65% Canadian, French Canadian. It's not like I make fun of them. It's just they kind of make fun of themselves. But Not all of them. I mean,
and now apparently communicating with police. I mean, what a twist.
Horrible. First of all, I would sum this up to say this is the worst midlife crisis I have ever seen in my life.
Not to
That's
make
how
light
I
of
would
it, but
say it,
yeah.
because it's crazy. You know, look, how can it?
yeah, I don't know if his wife wants to know if he's alive, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they've been in contact. It's pretty hard to go missing these days, right? Like, if this guy's going to be this dumb to come up with this kind of a, escape plan, he's probably left a lot of evidence behind. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they've known quite a while. This has been going on for a few months, so I'm pretty sure they've known for quite a while that he wasn't dead. Uh, and what are they going to charge him with, right? I mean, I guess they're going to charge him with the insurance fraud because I think he took out like a $750,000 life insurance policy. So I'm pretty sure that's a felony or something. So they're going to charge him with something. They're going to make him pay all the money back that they used to try to locate him. So, but it's a crime that doesn't go unpunished because of the kids. The kids are the ones that are going to, Thanks, Dad.
It's bad enough for a man to abandon his family. It's really quite awful. And the victims here are really his wife and children and anybody else who actually cares for this man. But then to do so in such a horrible way, to make them think that you've died, only to resurface and cooperate with police and then make it clear that you don't want to come home. It's worse. It's almost worse than death for this family to have to go through this. It's just so terrible and emotional. So yeah, it is bizarre.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about this video. So there's this news conference that was held this week where the
Hello, Mustang, 1965. Good to see you. And Montreal, Canada is one of my favorite places on the planet. Like Montreal is amazing. But you go outside of Montreal,
Green Lake County Sheriff played a 24-second video sent or seemingly sent by Ryan Borgwart earlier this month, where he can be heard quietly confirming that he's alive and well. And I should tell you, we tried to boost the audio a little bit, but here you go.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwart. Hello, his name is November 11th. It's approximately 10 a.m.
where the hell is he? What is this? Is this like I don't know.
Now, at this time, he is keeping his location a secret. As for why he sent this video to police, that has to do with the forensic investigation that police conducted on a laptop that they received from Borgwart's wife. Last time we brought you this story, we mentioned that he'd apparently been in contact with some woman in Uzbekistan. Well, authorities, they dug into communications on that laptop and they made contact.
In a bunker. That's so funny. Let me guess, he brought a cell phone with him,
with this Russian-speaking woman who put them in touch with Ryan Borgwart. Don't know for sure if that is the same woman in question.
Yeah, he's got 3 kids, a wife, why wait until now to leave? Like, just leave before any of this stuff happens, right? It's so weird.
Question that he had been talking to, but police then asked him questions to confirm it was really him, and then they asked him for a video. So that's what they got. Now, Serena, let me bring you.
Have a good night, Mustang. Good to see you. You can confirm Wisconsin sucks. Yeah. Does it suck that bad? Yeah. Just get a divorce or just, why waste, why ruin your whole family's life like that? It's just so it's like, it's all about him. It's got to be,
on this, because if he wanted to disappear, again, why would he be communicating with police?
It's really strange. I don't know why he would. And in fact, I would have advised him not to, because he might be facing, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, some criminal charges. And as a criminal defense attorney, my first thing that I tell clients or potential clients is do not speak with police, especially if you could be a suspect in a crime. So I don't know why he would ever do that. I think obviously the police have a good reason to want to speak to him, to check for signs of life, to check to see if he's there voluntarily, or is this a mission where they have to, extract him from a location because he was kidnapped or he's in danger.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Because you also imagine if you really wanted to pick up and start a new life, why seemingly fake your death? If they've got the goals, hey, listen, I don't want my family to think I'm dead, then why did you allegedly make it look like you're dead? Why didn't you just say, I'm leaving, I'm going to Eastern Europe, bye everybody? I don't get it. Like you want to make, again, taking all the allegations is true. Either you want to fake your death and make it look like you died, but now you're kind of reversing course after all the effort you made to make.
Don't people think these things out first? Like, if you're going to do this, you would probably research things, this guy, I mean, the planning in this wasn't all that great.
Make it look like you died? I'm confused.
Yeah, I think this is a man in crisis. I think he made some really, really bad decisions that he thought were good decisions. And I think that after that high wore off, and maybe perhaps he saw that they were not stopping to try to track him down, he made some sort of statement that he thought they would search for him for 2 weeks and then give up. I think he might have started to feel like he was going to get caught anyway. They were going to find him anyway. In today's day and age, it's not like the 70s and the 80s. You can be so easily tracked, your phone, your computer. So maybe he just realized the gig is up.
Getting on and off planes, closed circuit TV, all of these things, the cell phone pings. I mean, this guy.
I'm going to get caught. I might as well just come out.
Can you tell where he is in this video? And let me couple that with this. Can you, not like where his location is. I mean, do you think they're going to be able to tell where he is just from that background? But also I'm wondering, did he specifically take that video in a different location from maybe where he's staying?
Right. I mean, if he's really still trying to elude the police, he might have gone elsewhere. And it depends on what device he used to make that video. So if he used his own cell phone, they can get a warrant for that phone and conduct, it's called trap and trace warrant, and a pen register. And basically they can triangulate his location based on the signals of that cell phone and what towers it's pinging off of. So it depends on the device he uses, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they could track him via that device.
Now, it's not just the fact that his location is a mystery. We also don't know if he plans to come home to be with his family.
Our primary judicial concern has been that he safely gets back to U.S. soil.
Pretty sure the extradition from Uzbekistan is quite a bit. Changing identities isn't what it used to be. No, it's not.
He needs to return home to his children.
This guy right here, the sheriff here, I can't believe this. This is something. I saw an interview with him. He just, you can't get over this. This is something you don't see every day.
If he chooses not to return, it's on his own free will. And I think the message is very clear. We have been continuing to contact the family members regarding our communication with Ryan. No warrants have been issued yet. We believe that warrants will not be needed if Ryan cooperates and decides to return home soon.
Doesn't look like he's planning on coming home, right? And even if, I don't know if it's to start a new life, to be with maybe a woman, you wonder, was this the way to go about it? But doesn't look like he plans to come home, right?
It doesn't. It looks like the police have been really kind of begging him to come home, pulling at his heartstrings, as they were saying, to try to convince him to come back. And, it feels like if he had wanted to come back, he would have, especially since he's already now confirmed that he's alive. So
Yeah.
again, I think he's a man in crisis.
I'm not a psychologist, but the psychological impact of this whole thing on the kids is going to be tremendous. I mean, just it's a horrible thing for the kids.
So let me ask you this. He could be facing some pretty hefty consequences if he's found or he returns to the country. I'll get to that in a minute. But you heard the sheriff talk about a warrant. What would a warrant look like here? How would it work?
People, like I mentioned before, they want to try to locate somebody. They could try to, get a warrant to get a person, to find that person. Also, they want to potentially search through his devices. And, people are entitled to their privacy, and a law enforcement officer has to get proof that there might be something uncovered.
I think since it's like he went to another country, I think it's probably more like a felony because a lot of times insurance fraud is just kind of like a misdemeanor. They just make you pay it back, I think. But since he went to another country, I think that's more of a federal type thing. I don't know though. I don't know how. I know one of the kids is older. I can look into that for you though. This kid looks fairly older. I'd say probably teens here, and then maybe below teens. I don't know.
That would help in an investigation that a judge has to approve of before they could go in to somebody's home or into somebody's devices, because that is, private and it's covered. So they may be looking just for more clues by getting those warrants issued.
I want to give everybody a little bit of backstory here. So Borgwart's disappearance, it set that family into a literal tailspin because in August, he was reported missing after his kayak was found capsized in Green Lake. Authorities discovered his vehicle was still parked along with a fishing rod, tackle box, personal items like his driver's license, his keys. For weeks, search teams scoured the lake with divers, sonar boats. There was a nonprofit group that was dedicated to finding.
Yeah, this was an all-out search and rescue for this guy here. I mean, I may be wrong, but I think they drained one of the lakes to look for him. I'm not sure.
Drowning victims, they became a part of it. And the investigation then took this sharp turn when authorities analyzed the laptop that belonged to Borgwart's wife. And what they discovered was an entire digital footprint that he left behind. Forensic experts found evidence of financial transactions, including money that was apparently moved into a foreign bank account, the purchase of an online or an airline gift card. And even though he had apparently gone to great lengths to try to wipe his footprint, removing the laptop's hard drive, clearing his browser history, even changing his email address, authorities still established this contact that he had with this Russian-speaking woman that we mentioned earlier. Well, apparently, in communications with police, Borgwart actually expressed remorse for the pain that his actions have caused, which, like you said, Serena, kind of goes into this midlife crisis he might be having. But I have to talk more about the family here because they have to go through these stages.
It was in Wisconsin somewhere. It was shit. Now I forget. We covered this a little bit last week. Great Lake, is it Great Lake? Yeah, he's a big dummy. He's just an idiot.
Of grief. First, they want, their grief.
If the cops don't find you, the insurance companies will. Trust me. They seem to find. They should have insurance companies do investigations sometimes because they're pretty good. They will find you.
Even thinking he died, and now they have to accept that he's alive. But when you look at this digital footprint here, I wonder, was there any way
Green Lake,
they
that's
could
right.
have found out what he was doing beforehand?
Right. And
yeah, it's Green Lake. I'm pretty sure it was Great Green Lake or something like that. I had it up the map up the other day. Midlife crisis by a sports car like every other guy. Just, I don't know. Just Naked Mile, all the college kids would get drunk. Yeah, I've seen that in American Pie, right? Lake Michigan, they didn't drain that. No, they probably wouldn't drain Lake Michigan. I think JC is right here. I think it was Green Lake. I'm not sure. Pretty sure they'll mention it. Some people wish they could get that kind of help. Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, this is all going to go to.
This makes it look bad for everybody else. This is there was another case was it last year, year before that, where some woman faked her own death too, and they actually threw the book at her. Where the hell did that happen? No, it was a baby on the highway, right? I forgot the case. They threw the book at her though. Forgot that case. That was, I think, last year. Was it last summer? Maybe. She said she spotted a baby on the highway or something like that, and then she was kidnapped, and none of that ever happened.
To his state of mind, whether this is, criminally prosecuted or even just for his family to take in and overcome. He planned this, and
Yes,
he
that's her,
planned it
Charlie
pretty
Russell.
meticulously. I guess he thought he'd be able to get away with it by removing that hard drive. He understood then that there was a potential digital footprint there. He just didn't go far enough, or didn't recognize.
See, this is the thing. That's why, they always say when it comes to adults, you got to give them 24 hours, right? Or a weekend or something. Because people do stupid things. Yeah, Sherry Papini, I remember her too. But this one here, Carly Russell, remember she said she saw a baby walking on a highway, and then she went to help, and then she got kidnapped, and none of that happened. It was just police have to deal with this shit. It's so, and guess who gets to pay for all of that stuff? But I think they ended up charging her with that, and she ended up having to pay for that. People go missing all the time. It happens all the time. Happens more than people think it does.
That, yeah, you could still get tracked even if you take a hard drive with you. But it's really devastating for the family.
People watch way too much MacGyver, or something like that, where you have this cheesy plot line, and they fake their own, like a soap opera. This guy's an idiot.
Because it just goes to show that it wasn't exactly on a whim. It showed that he had really taken steps to plan this out and to try to not be found.
You talked about planning. There's another bizarre piece of this, is how detailed he got with police about what he did, about his plan, because in this recent communication he had with them, he revealed how he actually carried out this escape.
He stashed an e-bike near the boat launch.
No.
He paddled his kayak in a child-sized floating boat out into the lake. He overturned the kayak and dumped his phone in the lake. He paddled the inflatable boat to shore and got on his e-bike and rode through the night to Madison. In Madison, he boarded a bus and went to Detroit and then the Canadian border. He continued on the bus to an airport and got on a plane.
And they say, of course,
unbelievable. I mean, how stupid could you be? It's just, wow. The naked bike ride parade. Yeah, it's a little, it's weird. She said her captors fed her Cheetos. Yeah, remember that? It was so weird.
Of course, they're going to verify that information, verify that story. But Serena, my gosh, if true, unbelievable. That effort, that commitment, that plan.
He wanted to be gone, and he wanted nobody to find him. And he only had a few miscalculations. It really feels like he could have potentially gotten away with it, if not for those few missteps. Number one being that he thought that nobody would care enough about him to continue this search, which is kind of sad in its own way, because maybe that's why he left, and maybe.
No, insurance company will find him. That's for sure. You take out 100 what was it, $750,000 life insurance policy, and no, they'll find you. He's a little pasty, yeah. No.
Now he's realizing, gee, I guess they really do care about me. And then, of course, misunderstanding the digital footprint stuff.
Why reveal all this? Again, it's incriminating himself. And we'll get to these potential criminal charges in a second. But if they back it up and say, yeah, he took the boat, he took the e-bike, he took the bus, he took all these travel records.
But then he went to Detroit, like one of the most populous cities in the world, right?
If they could back it up, why is he incriminating himself like this?
He may not realize the extent of where this goes. He may just be thinking that, all right, I've been found out. Let me at least, reveal how I did it, because I don't want to be lying to police. I don't really know what his mindset is, but he might just be extremely scared, and he might just feel like I might as well just say it all.
Why would he be scared? Okay, well, let's talk about it, because as for the ramifications that he could face, they are very serious, according to the sheriff.
The information that the Green Lake County has at this point leads us to an obstructing charge. What he did on the lake, staging his death. I cannot comment on the federal charges that may or may not be filed through our federal partners.
Yeah, I think this is all federal because it's all intercontinent. So I'm pretty sure they had to get Interpol involved in this, or at least the FBI, to kind of figure out where the hell he was.
The second one, and one of the big, most important one, was regarding the amount that Green Lake County will be seeking for restitution. It's in the area of $35,000 to $40,000. These costs do not include what Bruce's legacy did, or our divers, Charlie DeGroot.
I was just about to ask where you went, Miranda. I hope you're doing well. Sorry we put you to sleep. Love you too. I could hear you snoring from here. Good to have you back.
We're looking at about $7,000 in equipment expenses, that along with the wages.
Okay, so Serena, let's break this down. Ramifications legally. What constitutes an obstruction charge under Wisconsin state law? How would it apply here?
You know what they should do with this guy here? They should just tie him up on a pole around like a place of employment where a lot of people work, and if somebody's having a bad day, they can just go out there and punch the shit out of him, literally, just for being a douche. Like, oh.
So it actually is not that simple to apply to this situation. A lot of places have sweeping obstruction charges where if you do something like this, would kind of, force.
I mean, those two kids look young there, so I don't know when this was, but I'm assuming the age ranges are probably from like 8 to 14, somewhere around 8 to 15. He's always got a smile on his face. It's so weird.
Police to do things that they shouldn't really have to be spending their energy and money and time on. You could go down for that. In Wisconsin, it almost feels like he's one step away from a crime. They're going to have to prove that he made police do this. And because he didn't, the argument is that he did, right? But really the family wanted to look for him. The family encountered the police and brought them on, and the family wanted the police to investigate. And so maybe there's some sort of argument that it doesn't apply, but
let me press you on that. Let me press you on that a little bit, because I look.
What the hell is going on here? Heather, how do you feel? Like I was ready to go home and enjoy my weed, and look, a naked guy running up. Oh my God. What the hell?
Looked into the statute, and it says what obstructs means includes without limitation knowingly giving false information to the officer. I don't think that applies here because he didn't have prior communication with police, and he seems to be forthcoming. This is where I think it might get him. Or knowingly placing physical evidence with intent to mislead the officer in the performance of his or her
Yeah, this is accurate.
duty, including the service of any summons or civil process. So he creates a fake crime scene, intent to mislead. I feel like that's what we could be talking about here now.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important for police to elicit all of the specifics of what he did, because you have to go to his, what we call mens rea, his state of mind. Did he do this intentionally? That is, set up this false crime scene, this fake evidence. And did he appreciate it?
I literally didn't want to ask any questions about this naked guy on a bike.
And recognize what that would have meant.
Like a village idiot or something? Is that what that was all about? I don't know.
I mean, his statement where he said, I thought they would only search for me for 2 weeks seems to, kind of elicit that in his mind, he did think that police would be misled. He did think that police would be involved. So I do agree that this separate part of the Wisconsin statute is where they're probably going to laser focus, and all of these statements that he's making is not helping his case at all.
No. So let's get out of this. I just wanted to play that. To be continued with this here. At some point, they'll probably. I'm with Miss Barbara, though. I don't think he's coming back. He's going to stay over there. Let's see here. All right, so let's go to this. I got this pulled up already. This is a case that I've been following for a while here, and unfortunately, they found her. So let's just go over here and look at this first. Yeah, he's crazy. It wasn't me, I promise. How do we know? All right, so let's go here. This is the case of Charlotte Lester. This is a case out of Rhode Island that happened a while ago. So I'll read a little bit of this here. So Charlotte Lester's remains found 2 years after the disappearance, suspect charged. So detectives have arrested a man in connection with the disappearance of the unaliving of a Warwick woman. She's been missing for 2 years. So this is the guy, Mark Perkins, was taken into custody. He's the guy that's being charged with this here. He was discovered. So they discovered her remains probably by a mushroom hunter or something like that in Exeter, West Greenwich town line. So I might pull up a map for that. Not sure. Lester was first reported missing by her landlord, who court documents said she was having a relationship with. He told investigators at the time he had seen her and her dog Chloe in her townhouse. Her dog was found wandering Elmwood Avenue a few days after she vanished without a trace, per documents from the court. And her landlord explained was unusual since Lester didn't go anywhere without the dog. Investigators learned that Lester kept a small group of friends and boyfriends, which included Perkins, so the guy that they've arrested here. He told detectives who visited his Staples Avenue home in the days following her disappearance that he had no idea where she was. That's almost automatic. Detectives reported that Perkins appeared calm and unaffected with her disappearance. He stated that she had stopped texting him and did not know where she was. All right, so let's play this here. So they so this is, I'm going to play the press conference here. So this is coming out of Warwick, Rhode Island. So again, Warwick Police provide update on the Charlotte Lester case. Here we go.
On behalf of Colonel Connor, the Warwick Police Department is saddened to announce that human remains have been found and have been positively identified as belonging to Charlotte Lester, who was reported missing on May 16th, 2022. We extend our deepest condolences to Charlotte's family and loved ones during this incredible, difficult time. Our thoughts are with them as they process this tragic loss. We want to acknowledge the extraordinary efforts of all volunteers, community members, the Attorney General's Office, the Rhode Island State Police, and neighboring law enforcement agencies who supported us in this investigation. Their assistance and dedication were invaluable in helping bring answers to Charlotte's family. We'd also like to thank the detectives and officers here at the Warwick Police Department for their unwavering commitment and tireless work on this case. Their perseverance and dedication to justice have been crucial throughout this challenging investigation. We can also confirm that a suspect, Mark Perkins, has been arrested in connection with Charlotte Lester's death. He is currently in custody, charged with first-degree murder. This case will now proceed to the judicial system, and we are committed to seeking justice for Charlotte and her loved ones. This is an ongoing investigation, and we ask for the public's continued cooperation and respect for the privacy of Charlotte's family during this time. If anyone has additional information related to this case, we ask that you please contact Detective Nadine Parmenter at 401-468-4200. I can't comment on that right now. They were found in Exeter. I can't comment on that right now. We were alerted to that area by a hunter, I believe, that was able to uncover some additional evidence.
Were you able to disclose that additional evidence?
Not at this time.
Were you able to describe what it looked like when you saw the remains and everything?
Unfortunately, no.
Can you say much about the relationship between the suspect and the deceased?
They had a relationship in the past.
What kind of boyfriend, girlfriend, or how did they know each other?
Can someone else comment on that? Companions is the relationship.
If Perkins was always suspect, was Charlotte's body the only evidence you needed to really charge him, or was there other evidence that you guys found?
It definitely was one of the driving factors here.
Yeah, this gotta suck. So let me read a little bit more of this here. Her friends noticed that Perkins had what happened to be dried blood all over his hands, and she could clearly see scratch marks or bite marks on his arms. So this is Lester's friend, Charlotte Lester's friend, eventually came forward reported speaking with Perkins at a Cumberland Farms, and then she told him about that. Perkins told her that on Monday night he and Charlotte had a blowout of the century and that his house was a bloodbath. He then said, "I think I killed her." Court documents noted that detectives who searched Perkins' home for the next day found evidence of blood spatter in his bedroom, as well as a stained shirt hanging on a clothesline over a bottle of bleach in his basement. Surveillance footage from the hospital parking lot showed Perkins getting out of the driver's seat of Lester's truck and walking away. So, let's see.
We always believed that something had happened to Charlotte, but not having the remains was definitely a key here. So,
What was his reaction sort of when more police showed up to take him?
I don't think there was much of a reaction, to be honest with you. I don't know if it was just our stealthiness and being able to grab him quickly and catching him off guard, but there weren't really comments made or anything like that. So.
I heard it rains a lot in Oregon.
Correct. Today at 2 o'clock.
Will we learn this afternoon why on the first-degree murder charge? will that be presented down?
That will be presented down the line.
Are there other facets of the case that you could comment on, such as could you confirm he is the one on the videotape at Kent Hospital that dropped off her truck?
I can't confirm any of that stuff right now. No,
Is that something we will learn in time?
it should be, yes.
In the dog found at Belmont Park that Wednesday, is that another facet that we will?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as this progresses down the line, all that information will be made available.
When, in the aftermath of her disappearance, Warwick Police set up a crime scene on that house for a full month. Is that something that we're gonna learn this afternoon, or how much of what you learned in that first month played into eliminating other suspects and Perkins becoming the lead suspect?
Again, I can't comment on that.
All right. How does this impact? Now, I still have a case against him in February, felony assault. How does that impact my case? I know that's self-serving.
Sure. It doesn't impact it at all. It's
It
two separate things. Any other questions? Have they commented on this yet? We made notification to them. Yes, we've been in communication with them, as we have been through the entire investigatory process. Where? The Cumberland Farms on Post Road. This morning, approximately 9 o'clock.
When was she identified?
Yesterday, at some point. I can't.
How did her family react?
I don't want to comment on that.
His recent DUI arrest, was there anything that maybe clarified things? Did that have any impact one way or another on the investigation?
I'm not going to comment on that as well. I would have to refer you to the ME's office for that. Correct. This is still an ongoing investigation. Correct.
Could we ask the mayor to step forward?
That's got to be painful. I've never had that, but that's got to be painful. Oregoner. He probably can't confirm anything at all. This was a pretty public case. I remember hearing about this when it happened. There's so many cases that go on every single day.
I have to warn you, I can't give you any more. Okay, go ahead.
This has been high profile case in your city. Woman just disappears. What's your message to the residents of Warwick now that it seems that there's been an arrest?
That we have a terrific police department. The diligence, this meant something to them personally. Our detective division never let this go. And I'm happy for Charlotte's family, some closure now, and now we hope there's some justice for Charlotte.
Hello, Luis. How are you? Good to see you. Luis Cuevas is in here. Good to see Luis Cuevas in here. You wish you had some chocolate? I don't know if I can send you chocolate this late. All right. So, anyways, they got him. That's the good news. I do want to do this really quick here because this came up on my feed the other day. This has to do with Sebastian Rogers here. They may be getting close here, but let's play this. So there was a new tip in the search for Sebastian Rogers here. They got Dog the Bounty Hunter out there looking into this here. Depending on what you feel about that guy, he probably will stir up some shit. But it seems like they're moving in the right direction here. So let's play this here. Sebastian Rogers, he's a kid autistic kid that went missing I believe it was last March. and he's been missing ever since. And this is the father here, the actual father here.
9 months later, Sebastian Rogers' father holds onto hope as he continues to search for his missing son. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. The reward for Sebastian has increased following new tips and a lead that led investigators to believe they had found the teen. News 2's
Always good to see Louise Cuevison here. She's a great person. I smoked some regular weed recently and not again anytime soon. A little too strong for me. I wish I could smoke weed. I really do, but I can't.
Caitlin Quisenberry has more.
Never going to stop. You don't stop halfway between a goal, and try is just the first way of failing. We will find Sebastian. We will bring him home.
For the last 8 months, there's been no sign of Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. Several agencies, including law enforcement, have searched for Sebastian before pulling back to focus on the quote investigative side. In September, Doug the Bounty Hunter joined the search.
They're really quick to jump on every tip that is validated.
On Friday, Doug the Bounty Hunter received a tip.
We understand you reported seeing a boy matching Sebastian's description at the Motel 6 in Goodlettsville.
According to At Night Private Intelligence, on Monday, a team of licensed investigators and contractors acted on that tip after seeing a boy matching Sebastian's description walk into a motel room. At 4:47 that afternoon, investigators called 911. The Sumner County Sheriff's Department arrived on scene. The individual identified was found not to be Sebastian.
Unfortunately, it wasn't Sebastian, but with that kind of movement and that kind of force, we're going to find Sebastian.
Today, the reward for information on Sebastian Rogers' whereabouts increased again from $175,000 to $200,000. At Night reported the increase was due to an escalation in credible tips and possible relation to the presence of a transnational gang from Venezuela in Tennessee. In the meantime, Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is clinging to hope.
Every day, I hope for the phone call that brings the lead in, that puts him back where I can just look at him and give him a hug. I mean, I miss my son.
With the holidays and Sebastian's 16th birthday around the corner, Seth tells me he does not want to miss any more moments without his son by his side.
I'm hoping with everything that's coming into play, everything that's being reported, that he'll be home before he turns 16.
Anyone with information can call Dog the Bounty Hunter's tip line, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the TBI, or your local FBI office. Those numbers are listed on our website at WKRN.com. Bob, Haley.
Yeah, that's strange. Very, very strange. Let's go here to, I don't know, how many people think he's alive? I'm pretty sure everybody's hoping that he's, but I don't know. I definitely think somebody's lying in that case. That's just my opinion. All right, so let's go to this Suzanne Simpson case here for a little bit. Then we'll get to the hell am I doing? We'll get to the missing person case after that. There's just so many things I'm following here. It's just kind of crazy. You don't think he's alive, unfortunately, either do I. I mean, I hope so. Poor kid, just.
One of the Simpson siblings.
I definitely think there's a liar in that whole. Somebody's not telling the truth there. That's just my opinion. I've felt that way since it started. But he could be. I mean, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd probably say at this point, maybe 20% alive and the rest not. Because didn't he have an issue where he needed medication? So anyways, this is the case of Susan Simpson. They arrested the husband finally on her unaliving, even though they haven't found her yet. But this is the daughter that's speaking out. And this guy here, again, he's innocent until proven guilty, but he's pretty guilty to me. So this woman went missing a few months ago. Actually, when was it? Over the summer. This is a typical domestic abuse thing here. This guy's a real winner here. So he's been arrested, and this is the daughter talking here.
Speaking out after their mother, Suzanne, was killed last month. Their father charged with her death. Tonight, our Yame Virhin breaks down the chilling words shared during a nationally syndicated podcast.
I took all my siblings, we went to the police. I gave them a statement.
It's the first time we hear from one of Suzanne Simpson's children.
I know he was on an ADHD medication, but I thought for some reason that he was on something else too, but I may be wrong. I mean, let's hope he's alive. That's actually probably anxiety if you make sure it has yes, I believe so.
As to what they're
This poor woman, she's again one of those victims of domestic abuse, and she tried to get help, couldn't do it. But this guy here, the husband anyway was a fraud, another fraud, literally.
going through right now. For more than a month, their lives have been turned upside down. Their mother is presumed dead. Their father, Brad Simpson, is sitting at the Bexar County Jail charged with her murder.
First, I want to give you a little background of how I even got involved in this case.
Today, we're hearing from Chandler Simpson during an interview in the Connect with Jonathan Mark podcast.
When I got home, it was like nothing was happening. And that was really frustrating to me. It was like there was no police. Everyone was acting like everything is fine. And I was like, this is not right. This is not normal. In the moment, I was just still letting myself be hopeful and strong and faithful just because my mom and like her spirit and soul within me was just like shining through.
The 20-year-old told Jonathan Mark during the Connect podcast that she then went to the police with her siblings after arriving in San Antonio. And that is what allowed police to get a search warrant for their home in Almos Park.
Because of me and my siblings' statement not aligning with what my dad had told them, they were able to get a search warrant to go into the house to see the hole in the wall.
Yeah, I know about that because like I said, I'm on Zoloft. I take Zoloft every day, and if I don't have it, it's not like I go crazy or anything. It's just FL, MLB, and now the NA. No, but I can look into that if you want. Yes, I get withdrawals for sure. Not as bad as I used to, but because sometimes you just forget to get the prescription and then you have to go a couple days. Usually when I forget to get it, it's usually on a Sunday and nobody's freaking open. So I have to usually wait a day or so, but I can definitely feel it, when you don't have it.
From where my dad had pushed my mom down the stairs and to arrest him and put him in jail.
But it was also what was found 54 miles away at their river home that was also used to get the murder warrant signed. We are on Highland Drive in Bandera, population about 900 people. We're up the street from where the Simpson family owns a property where Brad Simpson was found by authorities the night before he was arrested, burning 3 cell phones and a laptop.
You know how you have those barometers of whether or not people are guilty or not? It's just I got put on a bunch of stuff after my dad died. Yeah, I bet. I hope you're doing okay, Miranda. I get withdrawals. Oh, I get withdrawals if I don't find a stray everywhere.
The affidavit says a Bandera County deputy made contact with Simpson here and saw him standing over the fire. The next day, on the 9th, the search warrant was served here on Highland Drive. And there,
I hope they do find her, or at least parts of her.
Texas Rangers located a ground level burn site with a burnt laptop and multiple cellular devices that authorities say belonged to Simpson. 6 weeks later, Suzanne Simpson's body is still missing. Her daughter Chandler shared her pain and that of her siblings, ages 18, 15, and 5 years old, during the podcast.
Thank you guys. It's some of these things I can't help but laugh at. This chat is freaking awesome. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce had their homes broken. Yeah, I've heard about that. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Paula.
In Bandera, Demi Virgen, Fox SA.
All right, let's. I want to play another one of these here because that's a month ago. 3 days ago, Missing Moms appears on. Is this the same one I played before? No, let's play this one.
I took all my siblings, we went to the police. I gave them a statement.
It's the first time we hear from one of Suzanne Simpson's children as to what they're going through right now. For more than a month, their lives have been turned upside down. Their mother is presumed dead. Their father, Brad Simpson, is sitting at the Bexar County Jail.
This guy was in big trouble. He was basically conning himself through life. I'm trying to find that where they have all of that stuff. I think that was on. I forget where that was, but he was conning everybody, literally.
Charged with her murder.
First, I want to give you a little background of how I even got involved in this case.
Today, we're hearing from Chandler Simpson during an interview in the Connect with Jonathan Mark podcast.
When I got home, it was like nothing was happening. And that was really frustrating to me. It was like there was no police. Everyone was acting like everything is fine. And I was like, this is not right. This is not normal. In the moment, I was just still letting myself be hopeful and strong and faithful just because my mom and like her spirit and soul.
I always feel bad for, the victims' families and stuff like this, right? Not only did you just lose your mom, but now there's going to be this huge, investigation, and you're going to have to be hounded by the press all the time looking for. It's just, this is just so bizarre, so horrible. It used to be on Lexapro.
Within me was just like shining through.
The 20-year-old told Jonathan.
I mean, the kids and the family, nobody asked for this, right? It's just so. Look at this freaking house. Wow, it's nice. This is a nice neighborhood right here.
Jonathan Mark during the Connect podcast that she then went to the police with her siblings after arriving in San Antonio. And that is what allowed police to get a search warrant for their home in Almos Park.
Because of me and my siblings' statement not aligning with what my dad had told them, they were able to get a search warrant to go into the house, to see the hole in the wall from where my dad had pushed my mom down the stairs, and to arrest him and put him in jail.
But it was also what was found 54 miles away at their river home that was also used to get the murder warrant signed. We are on Highland Drive.
All right, so I did play that. Okay, so, all right. I mean, I'll keep following that case, but it's, I'm pretty sure it's him. I take Zoloft works. I love my Zoloft. I wouldn't be able to live without it. You're supposed to take Zoloft? So, in my opinion, Zoloft works good. But it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for my wife. Nothing I should be depressed about. Everybody's depressed. Everybody needs something. It's chemicals. Because my ass needs a new one, overdue for something that actually works. I can't live without my Zoloft. All right, so we're going to go to the missing persons case of the week here. This is going to be about Emma Baum. So let's get into this here. You almost died over Zoloft? I know some people can't take it. Some people can. I love it. But you always need to do research on medications before you take them, because they may say they work great, but sometimes they don't. Yeah, that's the one thing about Zoloft is sometimes it's supposed to be there to calm you down a little bit and kind of like put you in another level. But sometimes now, if you take it, you don't care about anything at all. But that hasn't happened to me. I've known some people that say that they had to, kind of reduce. The only drug I have is Viagra. But I've known people that have been on Zoloft and had reduced their level because they just didn't care about anything. All right, so let's go to this
It's
here.
an urgent search for a pregnant mother, Emma
All right,
Baum.
so this is the case. Let me pull this up here. Friends and family of a pregnant mother from Indiana who was last seen more than a month ago are desperate to locate her, knowing she likely would have delivered by now. Emma Baum's loved ones say the 25-year-old mother of 4 was last seen at her boyfriend's house. There you go. In mid-October. We're looking for my sister. She was 1 centimeter dilated on October 4th. She's been missing since October 10th. And this is Baum's sister said that Friday. At this point, we've done everything we can. Now we ask the public to help us. So this is the case of Emma Baum. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So here we go.
Mom is 25 years old, last seen about a month ago at her boyfriend's house in Gary, Indiana. Her family and friends now going public with the case, desperate to bring Emma home.
She was 1 centimeter dilated on October 4th. She has been missing since October 10th. At this point, we have done everything we can, and now we ask the public to please help us.
Police conducting multiple searches, but there has been no sign of Emma. Coming up, the reason her family believes the boyfriend is somehow involved and where he is now. Also, we're talking to the founder of an independent search team who is working this case. First, though, several other missing cases we are following, starting with the mysterious disappearance of Hannah Kobayashi. The 31-year-old was last heard from on November 11th. According to our News Nation.
Yeah, I got her coming up too here right after the missing person case, because this is such a strange case of this Hannah Kobayashi here. She just it's every parent's worst freaking nightmare here. She just ended up in Las Vegas and then this case is so weird. We covered this a little bit last week, but after the missing person case here, I'm going to go over this a little bit too. Just sucks.
Station in LA. Kobayashi was traveling from Maui to New York City, but missed her connecting flight in Los Angeles. She decided to go to the Grove Shopping Center for a LeBron James event.
Unfortunately, this is not looking good either here for this lady here. It's just don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get.
And then days later, started texting her family.
This is shit. I have a little left. She was talking about I don't think this is her either. I have a little left. I just want to get on a bus, whatever, straight to the Redwoods. This is really weird. This is not her that's saying these things.
Alarming messages.
It sounded very cryptic, or like it just was not her. Yeah, we share location, and we know her phone's off because it goes straight to voicemail. We've been trying to call and text. None of the texts are getting delivered. We can't locate her phone. Calls go straight to voicemail.
Hannah's aunt says there is.
Yeah, we truly love Miranda Lee here. Miranda Lee is always welcome here. Very good person. We love everybody here, but yes, you'll be all right for sure. Both of you will be all right. Just take one day at a time, 1 second at a time. Try to get through it the best you can. Yeah, this case here is just, like I said, it's everybody's worst nightmare. I know she's a little bit, older now, but when you have kids, your kids are never old enough. She just left to go have a good time in New York, and she hasn't been seen since. It's so weird. If I could just get out there and help find, I would do it. I would literally get in my car and go try to help find this person. I just would.
Is new footage showing Hannah in downtown LA.
Because you just know how much stress these people are under right now, just trying to, and they're probably not being told a lot by law enforcement.
And the footage has not been made public, but she says in it, Hannah is not safe and she is not alone. If you have any information that can help find Hannah Kobayashi, contact the LAPD. Suzanne Simpson's sister says there is no hope in finding the missing mother of 4 from Texas.
Oh, and 1 week she finished. Oh, that sucks. That sucks, Heather. We love Heather too. Heather's amazing. Heather's an amazing person. Period. Heather is great person. We love Heather here for sure.
Texas. Suzanne's husband, Brad Simpson, has been arrested and is suspected in her murder. He's being held now on.
I hope they find this person here too, because I know they can convict people without a body, but it's really better if they have one.
$5 million bond. Suzanne's sister, Teresa Clark, spoke with my News Nation colleague, Ashley Banfield.
Look, don't ever have people give you a deadline for grief. Grief, when you lose people, you have as much time as you want to grieve over those people. Take all the time you want, because it sucks. No one ever gives you anything to prepare you for when your parents get old. It just sucks. Losing your parents, tough, very, very tough. So take all the time you want. You poor thing.
The children hadn't spoken to her in 16 hours. That's when I just knew, okay, she's already in heaven. That's just all there is to it.
The search for Suzanne does continue, including at a landfill and in a wooded area around the couple's home.
But in my opinion, with the whole Susan Simpson case, is he'll bring that to trial, and then, he'll probably plea out, and he'll get a reduced sentence to give up where she's at. That it's a cave. They do that all the time.
A neighbor saw Suzanne and her husband fighting outside their house, describing a physical altercation before Brad Simpson drove off. That was the last time anyone heard from her. The search also continues for Zelig Williams, an actor and Broadway star who vanished in his home state of South Carolina.
I'll have to look into that NFL thing, though, Paula. Thank you for letting me know that.
On October 3rd. Zelig worked on the popular shows Hamilton and MJ the Musical. Friends telling News Nation they got an automatic emergency notification from Zelig's phone. His car was then found in a parking lot near a hiking trail by the Congaree National Park. It's about 15 miles from downtown Columbus.
I just watched that again the other night. The case with Bob Crane. Remember the guy from Hogan's Heroes? Anybody that's that old, like me, would remember that. But they caught the guy and they acquitted him, and they haven't ever gotten to the bottom of that case.
Columbia, South Carolina. According to ABC4 News, in the area, YouTuber Adam Brown, a local adventurer and the founder of Adam Brown Adventures, is now helping in the search for Zelig. He lives about 30 minutes away and says that he felt compelled to get involved. He's now gathering a group of experienced volunteers to look for Zelig, and in this video shows us the difficult terrain near where they believe Zelig was before he vanished.
Really, I'm just kind of looking for anything that's shaped somewhat, more like a phone. There's a snake right there. You'll see the snake. Water definitely is more calm today. Looks like, but dang. Look at all this after the flooding.
Yeah, he was murdered. And they caught the guy. Well, I believe they caught the guy anyways, but they brought him to court and they acquitted him.
That's just a mess.
20.
This is also a case that many in the entertainment world and also in Hollywood have been following closely. If you have any information that can help in the search for Zelig Williams, you can contact the Richland County Sheriff's Department. All right, now to this week's featured case. More than a month since Emma Baum was last seen, a young mother about to deliver another child, when she disappeared. Last seen at her boyfriend's house.
Yep, love Charlie's Angels too.
House in Gary, Indiana. Our News Nation station in Chicago spoke with Emma's family. Here's WGN's Jewel Hillary with the latest on the case.
Emma Baum's loved ones say she was last seen early in October at her boyfriend's house, which is the brown one right behind us. For weeks now, they have been searching for her desperately and are asking anyone who knows anything to come forward.
I would like my daughter home. I miss her. Her babies need her. Her family needs her.
Holding posters with her pictures. More than anything right now, the family of 25-year-old Emma Baum wants to embrace Emma and the baby she was expecting.
She was 1 centimeter dilated on October 4th. She has been missing since October 10th. At this point, we have done everything we can, and now we ask the public to please help us.
Emma is 5 feet 3 inches tall and about 136 pounds. She's known to wear different hair pieces and wigs. This picture of her as a brunette is how she looks naturally. Emma is a mom of 4 young children, which includes the baby she likely would have delivered by now. She was 9 months pregnant when she disappeared.
If you do see a missing Emma, she may be with her newborn baby. This case is very critical because we don't know if that baby has gotten the care that it needs.
Emma's loved ones say she was last seen at her boyfriend's house October 10th in the 2500 block of Connecticut Street in Gary. Gary investigators say they didn't receive a missing persons report until October 28th. According to investigators, Emma's boyfriend was arrested on October 29th on an unrelated warrant and is currently being held in the Lake County Jail in Indiana.
One individual was picked up on a warrant. I know that's the question out there. Was he charged? He has not been charged. No one in this case has been charged. And that individual was just on a separate FTA warrant.
Investigators say since Emma was reported missing, they have helped in her search.
There's been 3 different locations that have come up in the investigation, so that we've exhausted those means and looked into video that was possibly in those areas that she was last seen as well.
Loved ones describe Emma as having a heart of gold, someone who would do anything for anyone. And now they're pleading with anyone who knows something to help them reunite with Emma and her baby.
We love you, Emma, and if you can hear us, there's nothing that you have done to make any of us stop loving you. We trust that somebody knows something,
And we want her
and we want her
We
home.
want her home.
Anyone who has any information on Emma's disappearance is urged to contact the Gary, Indiana Police Department. Reporting in Gary, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
Joining us now is Lorenzo Longoria, founder of the NWI Independent Search Team, and also Katrina Overstreet, founder of the Missing Struggle. To you both, thank you so much for joining us. This is an urgent search, one, because Emma was so pregnant the last time she was seen, and the family now going public wanting a lot of help. So thank you both for the work you're doing. Lorenzo, let me start with you. Tell me about your group.
Hey, Lady Monet, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Just going over the missing person case of the week. This is the case of Emma Baum here. And this was done, when was this done? This was done fairly recently here. This was done a couple days ago, I think.
and at what point you got involved.
We are a team NWI Independent Search Team, and we founded our group back in 2015 when our oldest son, Mike.
Thank you so much, Lady Monet, for doing that. Ms. Barbara Hall needs everybody's help to get that case reopened. She's an awesome person, but she needs answers too.
Michael, he went missing for 41 days. During that 41-day search, we went inside of abandoned buildings, inside of schools, inside of any type of structure. And during that time frame, we had thousands of volunteers helping us. So what we do now is our way of giving back to the community. So that's why what we do. So we know the pain, we know the struggle that the parents are going through, and we're there to help bring closure and to bring answers as best as possible with our team of 14. And we have currently 4 dogs that are on search and article scent.
Wow. So you know firsthand the pain and grief this family is going through. Real quickly, on a personal note, what happened in your story with Michael?
Again, he was missing for 41 days, and longer story short, he was found inside a retention pond in Crown Point. So he went off road and he was submerged underwater for 41 days.
Wow.
So,
I'm so sorry.
During that time frame, we passed him at least a dozen times, and the neighbor across the road, finally, he went to the local authorities and he told them what he's seen, lights inside the water back in 2015.
I'm so sorry, Lorenzo, and thank you for sharing. And now I understand your passion for helping others.
Yeah, where's Charlotte? Usually Charlotte's here by now. Hope she's well. Charlotte's an amazing person. Charlotte is great. All right, so let me go here. Hold on a second. I don't know what's going on with my computer here. Oh, I did that one here. All right, so this is her here. This is, did I say Irma? I keep probably saying Irma. I'm an idiot. Emma Baum. That's her right there. And she's definitely pregnant. Last seen October 10th, 2024, age 25. She's a itty bitty thing, 5'3", weigh about 136 pounds. I wonder if that's with baby or not. Emma Baum was last seen October 10th, 2024 in Gary, Indiana. She is pregnant and lives in Portage, Indiana, but was visiting her boyfriend in Gary. So I'll try to pull that up. When she disappeared, okay, so wait a minute. Her boyfriend in Gary, where she was last seen. So she was last seen with her boyfriend in Gary, Indiana. When she disappeared, she was dilated and could have delivered her baby since. Police state that her boyfriend is in police custody and is being held on an unrelated case. So they've arrested him, probably trying to buy time to get some evidence. Emma is known to wear different hair pieces and wigs. Really? But is naturally a brunette. So, according to, she has several tattoos and several scars on her arms. So, all right, so let's go back to this here, and I'll try to pull up that map here. Stop sharing that. Well, it's Windio. Right here. Okay.
Katrina, tell me about your group and your involvement in Emma's search. Can you hear me? I think you may have been. That's okay. That's okay. Go ahead and start over, Katrina. How did you guys get involved, and tell me about your organization?
We're the Miss and Struggle. We are a collective of families that also have family members that are currently missing. So it's excuse me, 5 of us, and we all have family members that are still missing. And we got involved because we know NWI, we work together closely on cases. While they're boots on the ground, we're in the background doing what we need to do.
So this case, you can hear the family's grief. Lorenzo, I want to pay a particular attention to the house where the WGN reporter was a moment ago, the boyfriend's house in Gary, Indiana. You would start the search there because that was the last place we know Emma was. Tell me about this property and what you all have learned.
We have went inside the property. We went on foot looking for any type of evidence of her belongings. We did find some articles that belonged to her, but obviously she wasn't there any longer. So we just had to take the trail on her last known location. So that was her last known location, but she did travel, we don't know, by foot or by vehicle around the town. So we have went there. We have talked to the property manager. He is very, very helpful by letting us go inside and search. He doesn't have to, but he has.
So this is a map here. Let me back this out a little bit. So she's from here, and this is Gary over here. So it's about, yeah, Lady Monet's right. It's about a 12-minute drive. That's Gary there. Different routes you can take, but she was last seen in Gary, so I'll have to look at this route a little bit better here at some point. All right, so let's stop that there. Gary has a population of 70,000, about the size of Bloomington, Indiana. So it's a pretty big city. Let's get back to this here. Hey, Charlotte.
Because he's looking for answers as well and clarity of that property.
Charlotte's here. We were just talking about you. Dean needs Dr. Ruth. Is she still alive? Betty White was cute. Wasn't she in the Snickers? She was in. Remember, she was always on. Betty White was always on. What's the name of that game show? The Match Game 76, Match Game 75, Match Game 76. Well, she was in the Golden Girls too. Right. It's good to see Charlotte in here. Charlotte's awesome. She's an amazing person. Not a very safe place for a pregnant girl. Are you in Indiana, Lady Monet? You must be in Indiana. All right, let's go back to this. It's good to see you, Charlotte. Hope you're well.
Trina, the boyfriend's in custody on separate charges. What more do we know about the boyfriend, his background, and the family seems to think he has some involvement?
I'm going to defer that question to Lorenzo.
I'm sorry, Katrina.
Yes, I said I'm going to defer that question to Lorenzo.
Oh, okay. Lorenzo, do you have any information on the boyfriend?
Well, everyone is instant until proven guilty, but anybody with the last person that they were with is definitely a suspect.
Family authorities are searching for her. She was last seen on a 2500 block of Connecticut Street in Gary, Indiana. I'll have to, okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me write this down. Block, Connecticut Street. She was 9 months pregnant at the time of it. We read that. She's 5. We read that. So that's her with her natural hair color. And then that's her. Okay.
Especially dealing with this case or any case at all, the last person that was with the missing person is a high probable suspect. But again, everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
Yep, indeed. But they always start with the family and friends, the last to see a missing person in an investigation like this. Katrina, as you have...
That's a good thing, Miranda. Guys are annoying. Pregnant women are at a risk for domestic violence. You ain't kidding. That's the reason why I got into this whole mess. true crime. I mean, it's just a nightmare. It's just that people have no way of getting any help either. It's just such a sad freaking thing, and it happens all the time. And it really just pisses me off. It really does. This is I'm not saying that happened here, but um, it's not good.
Looked at this case as a whole. What stands out to you, and where else do you believe police should be looking?
The first thing that stands out is very obvious. She's pregnant and was 1 centimeter dilated and then went missing a couple weeks, a week or so later. Our biggest thing is, where's the child? Like, who did this? Did they do it for the child? Did they do it because of something that was going on with Emma? Like, there's a lot of questions out here that needs to be asked and answered. So that's where I'm standing with this.
And Lorenzo, what was going on in Emma's life prior to her disappearance? Had there been any red flags that the family has shared? Any concerns for her safety?
Her life prior to this happening, my understanding, the fact that she was in jail for some time, then she got back out, and I don't know her personally, so the family just called out on us back in November 3rd, and since then, 19 days straight, we've been out searching, gathering information, gathering clues of who Emma really is. But by her family, she is loved by many, and they're just looking for answers for her. So that's what we're here to do, is help bring closure and to find Emma and her baby. Her baby has to be born already, because again, like the missing struggle said, that she was already dilated 1 centimeter. So we're looking for just not Emma, but we're looking for her child as well, which is very alarming. With the elements outside, like right now in this area, it's snowing outside. So where's Emma? Where's Emma's baby?
Katrina, you work with many families. What type of support do you offer them in this this space of unknown as they look for their person and they look for answers?
There's a lot of things that we do. We actually help a lot of the families mentally, just to be there for them. Hey, you can call me at whatever time of the day or night. Let's talk about it. And us as the missing struggle, and Lorenzo's team as well, when they have missing loved ones, we know how they feel. So we can be more sympathetic and empathetic with what they're saying. We also print flyers, give out flyers. We push their flyers on.
You guys had a storm? You guys had a storm over there, Charlotte? Good to see Charlotte. You just got married again? Good, congratulations. Marriage is so 80s. Well, that's good. I mean, at least you have a friend. Friends are good. Married life is great so far. It's always the case. But good luck.
On social media, we make sure that the family is eating, instead of being out there all day and all night with nothing to eat or drink.
So here's I don't know why that thing keeps doing that. You want to get married? Why? I'm not a big married person. So here's Connecticut Street here. So I'm pretty sure that is a 25th block here. So this is kind of where this was here. Connecticut Street here. Indiana. Where the hell am I? I'm pretty sure they said 25th block, but I could be wrong. It's right here. It's right here. So there's that. All right. Go back to this here. Right here.
There's a lot of things that we do in the background.
Yeah, no, it's just sometimes it's a
Hello, Heather E. Oh no, now there's two Heathers in here. Married your friend? Congratulations. Storm Burt, I believe. It's still pretty lively out there. My kitchen is full of chickens. As I was worried for their coop again, I built it. Oh. Good to see Heather E in here. Tech Death Hippie's in here. Hey, buddy. Good to see Tech Death in here. Feel free to put your channel in here. Tech Death, he's awesome. He's got great music, great musician. Guy's awesome. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss any good comments here. I'll have to check into that. I usually don't cover the Eastern Atlantic and Western Pacific, but I can.
something as simple as a hug. I know. Lorenzo, how closely does your group and others work with law enforcement, and have they been forthcoming with some of the information that they have found as they search for Emma?
Do you think it's possible she could have just taken off?
We have not gathered any type of information that law enforcement has gathered. We kind of just do our own investigation. We would definitely work with the police if the police calls out on us to help, but we are two different entities of law enforcement and what they do and what we do.
And what have you uncovered finally? Any clues or leads right now?
Right now, it's got like a needle in a haystack. We have Emma's clothing. We have our dogs that are able to scent out Emma, but we almost like she just kind of just vanished, and we're just looking.
You're awesome, Paula. How are the babies? What babies? Oh, the babies. Yes. 46. 46 is young. Save the chickens. Yes. Eat more chicken? No, don't eat any more chicken. I go lie down, or I'm going to put you back in your kennel. That's what's going to happen. I'm here a bit late. Go back to this. Go lie down.
For answers. So the clues that we found all lead back to the place that she was dropped off at that evening. But that's where we're at. We're just kind of like at a stalemate. So we're looking for other people to come forward and to express what they've seen.
My dog wants to go out. I'll be right back.
Seen, what they've heard, to help bring closure to Emma and her family.
Lorenzo Longoria, Katrina Overstreet, thank you so much for the support you're providing this family and for also working with us as we try to get this case out there in the headlines. I appreciate you both, and we'll be in touch. I also want to welcome in Lizette Guillen. She's the producer for Case File Chicago. You're also working this case, and we saw you in our WGN affiliate piece. Thank you for your time. What can you share on possible leads and any clues that you have found?
Well, of course, I don't investigate myself, but I work very closely with the police departments that do the investigations, as well as the people, the independent search teams, such as canines. We are supportive in the role that we put a spotlight on these cases. These cases, of course, are all important. This one being especially critical because there is a newborn child that's involved. We don't know if that baby has been born. Well, it should have been born by now, but we don't know the condition. We don't know if that baby or mother needed medical care. So this is an extra critical case that needs to be kicked up a notch. Investigators are talking to several people. The boyfriend, as you mentioned, is also a person of interest. He is currently being held at the Lake County Jail in Indiana on failure to appear warrants.
Okay. In my notes from my team, you shared that there is a camper that they're looking for. What more can you add to that?
There is a camper that came in recently. The photo was shared with detectives, and there is a camper that they're looking at. They don't believe that the body is in it, but they do think it has some connection somehow, some way. So police are actively searching for it to come through the area. It's been known to drive around Gary, Indiana. So police are actively searching for that so they can take a look in the vehicle and see what they can come up with.
Any specifics about the camper, what it looks like that people should be on the lookout for in that area?
The camper it's not an RV. Some people kind of mix the two up. It is a camper. It's on wheels. It's one of the smaller ones, and it looks like an older type model. It is beige and light beige in color, and again, is known to drive around Gary. Although police think that it's not housed in Gary, but does drive around the city of Gary.
What more, as you talk to the family, Lizette, have you been able to gather about Emma's final times publicly, where she was seen last, who she was talking to, any concerns about her safety before she vanished?
There was huge concerns from the family because how far along she was.
It's so horrible. It's like someone for everyone. We all find someone when it happens. Yeah, dogs are good. She catfished me, Heather. Who? That's terrible. Yes, women can be very vindictive too. What's the old saying? Women scorn or something like that. But
in her pregnancy, her mother.
They have the boyfriend in custody for a reason. I know it's on unrelated charges here, but they're probably got him in custody just so that they can buy some time to get some more evidence, maybe.
They're actually pleaded with her, do you have to go today? Because she was going.
It's 70%. I think it's like 70%. I'm not sure. This is the first that I'm hearing about this case here. Oh, I'm take that back. I've heard about this case before a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to cover it, but I didn't because I was going to cover something else. But why? I don't know what's going on.
Going to the boyfriend's house. It's believed that, she wanted to talk to the boyfriend about the baby that was coming up. So they were going to have conversation. The mother, though, knowing that she was so far along in this pregnancy, said, you have to go, you don't have to go. That was the last time that Emma's mom, Janie, saw her. And her two sisters dropped her off physically at the boyfriend's house on 2500 block of Connecticut Street.
Does Emma have other children? So she was at the end of the term of this pregnancy. How many other kids does she have?
She's got 3 other children. One of them is 6, and the other ones are 2 and 3.
Okay, and who's caring for those little ones right now?
The family is all taking care of them. This is a tremendous family. This family is very loving. It's a very big family. So for Emma to go missing like this is really unlikely because there's so many of them that talk on a daily basis and stay connected, that this is really unlike Emma to just go missing.
One of the things that we run into often, and I know, Lizette, you do in your work, is the community wants to help, but oftentimes misinformation can get spread, and I believe that's been the case, at least in part, in Emma's disappearance. Anything you'd like to clear up that's misinformation floating around as people search for her?
Yeah, thank you, Mark, for bringing that up. This is this is a real case. These are real people. I know a lot of times people like to help, they want to help. However, if you do have certain information, please take it to local authorities. Take it to the Gary Police Department so they can cipher through it and triage it as they need to, instead of putting it on Facebook. We're seeing a lot of information being put on Facebook, and those things could hinder a case. You know, as we know that there's some stuff that may be sensitive, and those things really need to be getting to the police department. On top of that, as they're putting out information, people are starting to come up with their own conclusions to what happened to Emma and the baby. And that could cause people to just stop looking altogether. If they feel like there's a certain suspect that's already there, they may feel like, well, we don't need to look anymore because there's already somebody. And I do want to clarify, at this point, there are no suspects, just simply persons of interest.
All right. And finally, are there any active searches planned? I'm looking outside here in Chicago right now. We've got snow coming down. It's getting cold. Any searches planned now or in the days and weeks ahead?
There is one plan from the Gary Police Department. I'm not sure on the date yet. Today's weather is, snowy. And I know that the independent search teams have gone nonstop. I mean, rain, sleet, snow, they're going to be out there. So they're greatly appreciated by the family and the community who has seen them every day searching. But as far as law enforcement, I know there's something coming up, but I'm not sure when.
All right. Lizette Guillen, I thank you for your time. Producer for Case Files Chicago. We'll be in touch as we continue to follow this case and pray for the family that they have answers and they have Emma home soon. Thank you so much. If you have information that can help locate Emma Baum, you can contact the Gary, Indiana Police Department. Here again.
Okay, so missing Emma Baum, Gary Police Department, 219-881-1300. Crime tip hotline, 866-CRIME at GP, Gary Police Department. That must mean that.
Again is her picture, and she is known to have different color hair. Her natural hair color is brown, and we've seen an image of her with short hair. They've got a tip hotline. That number is 866-CRIME-GP. We have several other new pieces of information to pass along to you in the ongoing search for a missing TV news anchor from Iowa, Jody Husentrud. This is a case that we know you care about. Since our story aired, we've had more than 1 million views on social media. Jody's disappearance remains an active and open investigation nearly 30 years after she vanished on her way to work in Mason City, Iowa. We spoke with a private investigator.
This is the case we covered last week here. I'm trying to pull up another one on. Having Down syndrome makes you special. That's what I was going to say. Only 1 out of 640 people have done it. You are incredibly precious. Your body is marvelous. Yes. I do believe there's somebody for everybody. A caring man would not let a 9-month pregnant girlfriend go to downtown Gary. Yeah. Anyways, I was trying to pull up another piece on this here, but hold on a second. Let me share this really quick. I apologize for that. This is a better image. Nope, right here. Where was I? Right here. Okay, so this is what she looks like without the blonde hair here. This is a missing 25-year-old Emma Baum, pictured with her natural brunette hair. So they should put this image up too, right here. 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighs around 136 pounds, and has brown hair and brown eyes. So, why do you think she wears? I mean, it's not my. She has several scars and tattoos, and she often wears colorful wigs. I would like my daughter home, Bob's mother, Jamie Baum, said at Friday Press. So I guess I'll keep an eye on that. I don't know. It's weird. There's nothing else really to, other than news articles here. October 10th. So that was. So she probably would have had the baby by now. Anybody can block anybody in the chat. So anybody can block anybody on their own too, I think. I don't know. I mean, that's what I think. All right, so I'm gonna go. Let's play the rest of this here. Hold on a second, and then we'll move on to something else. Here we go.
Working this case, and he revealed several new details that we hadn't heard before in the investigation, including the theory that Jody may be within 30 miles of where she was taken and in a body of water. What leads you to believe, Steve, that she could be in some water somewhere or was at that time?
Well, I have pretty good information that not only is she in water, but that there is a very specific type of weight that has been used to weigh down her body at the time, which unfortunately would take the remains very, very deeply, probably to the low point in any body of water, and certainly well below all of the ensuing, dirt and rust and fill that would, typically gather over time. So I think that does reduce the chances of a successful recovery pretty substantially, below 50%.
Local police have not confirmed what Steve Ridge is alleging, only that the case is still active and an open investigation. One thing we do know is a person police have been interested in is also on Steve's list as a person of interest and possible suspect, and that man is John Van Cise.
Unfortunately, John's health is very, very bad at this point. He's I can tell you for the first time publicly that he is permanently incapacitated. I just have.
Okay, so I have found another one. Hold on one second. I did find another one, and I was going to play this one too. Hold on a second. Let me do this here. This is from Nancy Grace, I think. Here, we're not going to play the whole thing, but let's. This is more on Emma here. So let's play this here. This was done a day ago.
My daughter home. We miss her. Her babies need her. Her family needs her. And if anybody knows anything or can help search for her, could you please help us? We need her home.
That is Emma Baum's mother. A desperate plea to bring Emma home. Emma, 9 months pregnant, dilated to 1 centimeter to our knowledge. That from our friends at ABC7. Joining me right now, an all-star panel. But first, I want to go to Emma's mother, Jamie Baum. Jamie, thank you for being.
You are all awesome. Everybody in this channel is awesome here. I don't care for fat shaming at all, period. So if that's happening, forget that.
With us also with Jamie is Emma's father, Jason Waddell, and sister, Abby. To all of you, thank you for being with us. I've just learned about Emma's disappearance. I'm very curious. I know that she's been gone several weeks at this point. But the first thing I want to do, Jamie, is get her photo out there. Emma, gorgeous, stunning, inside and out, a real girly girl. She loved putting on makeup and dressing up.
I mean, usually what police will do, law enforcement will do, is once they get somebody in custody, they'll try to pin some minor charges on that person if they're suspecting that that person is more responsible for, said crime than they're letting on, just so that they can kind of get, more information, just so they can keep him locked up so he doesn't escape or flee. Not saying that the boyfriend's going to be charged for anything else, but that's usually what they'll do.
She loved different styles, wearing wigs, just everything fashion.
Excuse me.
Now at 9 months pregnant.
I'd never have a problem with anything you said in here, Barbara, ever. What does this mean here? Yes, yeah, he's that guy in the Jody Huisentrude case believes that she's in water somewhere. I'm gonna probably do part 2 on that case next week. Jody Huisentrude, because I've been following that case forever. But I do want to do another nothing else matters. And Emma, is the boyfriend in custody, the father of the other kids? Yes. Yes. I believe so. I believe it's the boyfriend. I don't know if it's the other kids or not. Maybe we'll find out here. Hold on.
It seemingly has vanished. Straight back out to Jamie Baum. First of all, tell me about the pregnancy. Is it correct that she was at 1 centimeter when she goes missing?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Tell me about her pregnancy.
So she was probably having contractions, I would think, right? Make my words. Dean's awesome. Dean's great. Dean and Heather are awesome.
Pregnancy. Has it been a difficult pregnancy? Has it been high risk? What can you tell me? Because I'm trying to imagine, is she in some hospital somewhere? Has she had the baby? What is behind all of this? How do you just vanish at 9 months pregnant? I could hardly walk at 6 months.
I guarantee you, every single person here in this shot here has been vetted. They've probably been talked to by police. I can guarantee you that much right now.
It's pregnant with twins. So how does a pregnant she's just 25, a young woman just seemingly disappear? Tell me about her pregnancy.
Well, she's had a good pregnancy. She was just dilated when she went. We tried to have her stay home, but she ended up going out.
There's a shot right there of Emma with one of her babies. Right now, her children want to know, where's a mommy? Again, joining me in all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But listen.
We've all gathered here today because we are looking for my sister. She was one.
So unfortunately, I don't know what was going on. She may have not been having contractions. True. This is her, like, this isn't her first child. So if it's not her first child, then she might have been having contractions. She just probably didn't know it. Or we come in here and say that to her, this isn't the place for that. I don't know what's going on. So, but yeah, if anybody's bothering anybody in the chat, I don't care who it is. Just I mean, but people can block anybody they want to block.
Centimeter dilated on October 4th. She has been missing since October 10th. My sister is beautiful. She's energetic. She reaches for the sky just like a sunflower, which is her favorite.
You are seeing that from our friends at ABC7. Join me in addition to Emma's mother, Jamie, father, Jason, and sister, Abby. Lisette Guillen is joining us, host of Case File Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think it's the like I said last week, it could be the guy there, her friend, but I don't think so. If I had to, like, I think it was a random type thing with Jody Huisentruit. Somebody might have been stalking her. Who knows?
And you can find her at Case File Chicago. Lisette, thank you for being with us. Lisette, tell me about the area from which she goes missing. This is Gary, Indiana. Is it in the city? Is it the metropolitan area around the city?
This is in the city, Nancy. It's in a more dilapidated area. We're talking about 25th block of Connecticut Street, which there are a lot of empty buildings around. There's a lot of empty land and wooded area there. So it is, part of the city.
Dean's awesome. My opinion is the only opinion I like.
One of the concerns is
Okay, last known location. So this is where we just were, right? So this is hold on a second. I'm trying to get my bearings here. Minimize. I did that already. Oh, let's see here. Yep, that's 94, right? Yep, 94. So she's in this block here. This must be Connecticut Avenue here, and this is 25th. 25th Avenue, East 25th Avenue. So that's right in there. Just trying to get the bearings here. All right, let's go back to this.
Is also very near our expressways here. And of course, we're known as the crossroads of America in this area. So, the thought of maybe her, being even gone on that highway is actually a concern too.
You're absolutely correct. Listen to this.
Emma Baum was last seen near 25th Avenue and Connecticut Street, about 2 miles directly south of downtown Gary, Indiana. It's been described as a dismal and desolate area. Baum was visiting a home in the neighborhood. Her friends and family have been there, scouring abandoned homes, looking for her and for clues into her disappearance.
Joining me, in addition to the family and Lisette Guillen, Brian Fitzgibbons is with us, Director Operations, USPA Nationwide Security, leading a team of investigators specializing in finding.
Yeah, he's not well either. He's probably not going to make it much further. So I don't know if it's him, they better do something quickly. But I heard that they were going to try to get a grand jury on him, but I'm not sure. But he's not well, so I don't know if they're going to be able to even prosecute him.
Missing people. You can find him at USP.
I forget his name already. I can probably figure it out. But that's the friend of Jody Huisentruit. He the one main suspect, but I don't think he did it.
Security.com. Brian, thank you for being with us. I've got all sorts of thoughts colliding in my head regarding the disappearance of 25-year-old, 9-month pregnant Emma Baum. Number one, a case I'm sure you're very familiar with, and that is the case of Shasta and Dylan Groney, who go missing out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Why? What does that have to do with Emma's disappearance? If you could, control room, please show me that map again. If you look down at an aerial of Coeur d'Alene, you see.
No, I forget his name now. The friend of, they were all friends. He much taller. He's been the suspect the whole time in the Jody Huisentruit case.
See nothing but green, densely wooded trees. That's all you see. Running through that very rural area, heavily forested, is an interstate. What happened to these two children? A guy, a perv, driving down the interstate, gets a glimpse of Shasta Groney, about 11 years old, and little brother Dylan. Gets a glimpse through the trees of them at an above ground pool. He goes and lies in wait, kills the whole family to abduct the children, ultimately killing Dylan as well. Shasta lived. After our program broadcast the photos, a woman in a convenience store spotted Shasta with her attacker and called the tip line. Okay. The significance of that interstate cannot be emphasized enough. Explain, Brian.
To have a main thoroughfare like that so close to where Emma was last seen is very concerning, because she could move at a high rate of speed to get away from that area. And complicating factor even further is the phone that she was holding at the time did not have a service plan connected. So even though it's still
that's a whole nother can of worms, the cell phone issue. But Brian, just think about it. 60 miles an hour. If she was in a vehicle, that's how quickly she'd be gone. At 1 centimeter dilated just before her disappearance. Look at Emma, 5'3", 136 pounds, 9 months pregnant. Brown hair, light brown hair, blondish hair, and eyes, brown eyes. Tattoos, you see one right there. Now, she loves to dress up and wear different colored wigs. That's just her. What is she wearing right now? We cannot project that. There you see her. In other shots, you may see her with short, light brown hair.
Yeah, that's very sad. There's Nancy taking all the credit for everybody.
Just look at her face. If I could show her face again. And
yep, she's pregnant.
Specifically, I want to see a shot of that tattoo along her neck and collarbone, because regardless of how she's got her hair done, that is something that will not change. To Jamie, this is Emma's mom. What is that? There she is with the brown hair, with a brown wig. What, Jamie? What is the tattoo? It looks like a sunrise.
It is. Yes, it is a sunrise.
Emma is a natural brunette, but often has her hair like this. Now, the other case I want to bring up to you, Brian Fitzgibbons, we just heard Lizette Guillen joining us from Case Files Chicago, talking about multiple abandoned homes in the area where she was last visiting friends. In that neighborhood, there are some abandoned homes, and it brings to mind,
you got to kind of think what's the motive, right? The motive behind stuff like this here. It's you follow the motive trail, you're probably going to find out who did this. I mean, there's only, in my opinion, when it comes to stuff like this, there's only a handful of people that would do this, right? It's not like, I mean, I don't want to say it's not going to be like an abduction or something like that, or somebody just came around and wanted to essay a pregnant woman. I mean, it could happen. There's only, I mean, maybe she got into somebody's car. I don't know. It's just, yes, you're awesome, Paula. Very, very awesome. We love Paula here. So you got to think of what's the motive here. And in my opinion, there's a reason why they're holding. I don't want to say he's guilty of anything yet, but I mean, they're holding him for a reason. That's my opinion.
a case that I covered extensively, the disappearance of Aliana DeFries, a schoolgirl on her way to school, ultimately found she had been tortured, she was killed, in an abandoned home.
Yeah, I mean, you have, you have some actual, what's the word I'm looking for? You have some statistics to back things up, right? Usually when people go missing, especially when it's a domestic case like this here, there's so much evidence pointing toward somebody close to the person, right? So, I mean, that's where if I was the cops, that's where I would start. I mean, I'd start, with the people close to them, and then, kind of mushroom out, or umbrella out. But he'd be the first person I'd be looking at. Not saying that he did it. I'm just saying that that's 7 times out of 10, it's somebody very close.
Home. Brian Fitzgibbons, police must go through every single abandoned.
Now, I mean, you can throw in stuff like maybe he's not that farther. I don't know. It's
abandoned home in that area. Explain the danger.
There's a lot of inherent danger there. First of all, Gary, Indiana is a dangerous place. With all these abandoned homes, Nancy, you complicate search efforts, particularly for volunteers. Police need to get on the ground there in that vicinity of 25th and Connecticut and start searching some of those abandoned properties immediately.
How do you go about doing that? I mean, this is your expertise. You don't just drive by, for Pete's sake. The problem I see with an abandoned home is that a victim can be taken in there. They can be murdered. They can be held hostage, and no one's going in and out. People stay away from abandoned homes. Who wants to get near it? You don't know what's in there. They're deemed unsafe. So people can be in there and nobody knows.
Yeah, the city should have access to these abandoned properties without needing a search warrant.
I hope you have a great night, Paula. We care about you 100%. Thank you so much for coming in. You're a great person. Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you have a good weekend. I'm just trying to look up some stuff here. Let's do this really quick. Let's get out of this really quick here. Get some stats here. Let's do some stats. Yes, and have a great Thanksgiving for sure. All right, so here's Gary, Indiana. It's a big town, land, elevation 597. It's 69,000 people, so about 70,000 people estimate. Density, I don't know, let's see here. That's it. So it's up here in the northwestern part of the state. All right, so that's that. That's it. Okay, so let's get out of this here and we'll go back to this here. She was between 2 east-west interstates. Karen Lee's in here. Hey, Karen Lee, how are you? Good to see you. Karen Lee's awesome. And I'm not just saying that. So let's go back to this here.
In many cases, they will indeed have that access. So I don't see that being an issue in this case.
Just going over the Emma Baum disappearance here. It's always good to see Karen in here. Karen's amazing.
Another case that is startlingly similar is that of.
Do I keep saying Irma? I mean Emma.
A young mom, a Memphis mom, Eliza Fletcher, out minding her own business. Eliza was jogging. Here we have Emma innocently visiting a friend, and she goes missing. Eliza goes missing. She was found in an abandoned home that no one thought to look in. I would advise some sort of a grid search at this point, Brian Fitzgibbons, a grid search of this entire area.
Absolutely. And listen, there are quite a few abandoned homes in that vicinity, but this is not a massive area around the place that she was last seen. And we have to think if something did happen to her, she would have had to been moved very close by, that she wouldn't have been moved too far away.
To Abby Smith joining me. This is Emma's sister along with mom, Jamie. Abby, tell me about the phone that Emma.
These cases make me freaking angry. You know, it's just one of those things where you just want to do more. You know, you just want to do something, right? It's missing pregnant woman here. This is just bad. This is really bad.
Emma had.
Emma used a lot of the Wi-Fi data, so she should be able to connect to some sort of cell tower or some sort of area where we'd be able to determine whether or not that phone was moved, I thought. Her last message was at 5:32 p.m. And then she's just gone completely blank.
The other thing is they're not going to tell the family anything, unfortunately. They're going to tell the family some things, but basically just emotional things. They're not going to tell them anything about the case. But I'm pretty sure they have all of that, but it is Indiana, and we just went through, you know, some really strange things with cases in Indiana. But you would think that they would have done a data dump, you know, with phone pings, phone data, stuff like that. But you never know. It's just,
We haven't had.
if it was any other state, I'd say, yeah, probably. But Indiana, I don't know.
Any contact, no one has said anything. We haven't come up, no Facebook, no Snapchat, no anything. And we have not found the phone.
Okay, hold on right there. Hold on. I've got to dissect everything you're saying. Abby is Emma's sister. Guys, please help us. The family contacted me. We read about the case online.
So we've read this already. 5'3", 136 pounds. Depending on not whether or not she had the baby, she's probably less than that. Brown hair and eyes. Scars on arms. What do you mean scars? Multiple tattoos.
I have seen no other media coverage of Emma's case. The family is desperate tonight, joining together, the dad, the mom, the sister, begging for help, begging for your help. I want to give you a couple of numbers.
Yes, October 10th, I think, Karen. Indiana needs a naked bike rider. The tip line 219-755-3855 1-800 you tell us, and then there's another tip 1-800 number.
Numbers right now. Here is a toll-free number. It's 1.
I'm pretty sure you can just go to the Indiana State Police.
800 you tell us. 1-800-883-5587. Repeat, 1-800-883-5587. You can remain anonymous.
I mean, if I was them, just to rule stuff out, I would check around her hometown too, because you never know. I mean, it could be that she had somebody stalking her. I don't know why, but it's possible. So I would definitely look around Portage too. Yes, it's been a while. It's been, yeah, the 10th is bad, right? October 10th. That's more than a month away. We're almost at Thanksgiving here. So
anonymous. You can remain anonymous. 1-800 you tell us 883-5587. Or there's a detective working the case out of Lake County Homicide, Detective Gordon. 219-755-3855. 219-755-3855. The mom and dad desperate for help. They have been out searching. They have been out putting up flyers. Won't you help us help them? To Sister Abby, I want to understand a little bit more about her cell phone. Now, was this a prepaid phone? You said she was using Wi-Fi. Was she out of minutes? Help me understand what's happening.
She was gonna turn it on. I believe she was using the phone company Boost. Was it the Boost?
I think so.
Boost. So, like, it's one of the prepaid phones. She had no minutes, so she did actively use the Wi-Fi. She would connect anywhere she could, so she could keep in contact with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say too. Like, you know, you might want to check hospitals and stuff like that. Very few people are going to unalive a pregnant woman. That's just my, I mean, I know there's sickos out there but a pregnant woman, I don't know, man. It's, thankfully we don't see post-mortem fetal extrusions too often these days. Yeah. Wonder if hospitals have been checked. That's exactly what I was just reading. See if there were any 30-day-olds. It's possible. Like, just, I don't know. She looks fairly happy, though. I mean, you can never know by pictures and images. Some people are just miserable. You never know.
Hold on just a second. Abby, you cut out on me.
I mean, I put maybe at this point like 70% on the boyfriend. That's just me.
Would you just start that over, please? I need to hear every word. Was she using a prepaid phone?
Yes, through Boost Mobile.
Okay, prepaid phone, Boost Mobile. Had she run out of minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me understand, Brian Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's possible that, you know, deduction for the pregnant woman, the baby, right? But she was at, you know, she was coming from her friend's house. So it's, as long as you don't talk, I'm good.
Gibbons, I don't have a prepaid phone. Explain to me how that works quickly.
Whether your phone has minutes or not, it's still communicating to cell phone towers. Anybody who has an old phone knows you can still make an emergency call from it. It's not sending as much information. It's not going to be as precise, but that phone would have still been communicating with cell phone towers.
Urgent? Are you telling me, Brian, that even though she was out of minutes, her phone could still be pinged?
That is correct, Nancy.
That's what I was getting at. I'm sorry to cut you off, Abby, but that's what I'm trying to find out. To hey with the prepaid minutes and the blah and the blah. I want to get a ping. I want a ping on this phone. So do you believe, Abby, she had simply...
I definitely think she has other kids. 3 and pregnant with the 4th. So Lady Monet knows a lot about this case. Jenny, I have no response to that. Yeah, this is a fact, right? It's you hope. Oh, that's what this is the one. Did the boyfriend owe any money? That was my dog. My dog snoring.
run out of minutes? Was the phone cut off? Or was the phone dead, out of battery? Because the prepaid aspect is irrelevant, according to Fitzgibbons.
Well, like you said, she was a girly girl, so she would not have a dead phone. It just isn't like her to walk around without a cell phone, especially being as pregnant as she was. It makes no sense why she would not have it.
More responsible than that.
Yes, way more responsible than that.
When you say she was very responsible to Mom Jamie Baum, what do you mean she was more responsible than that?
She just was on it. She wouldn't have not called any of us. We talked to her daily. She has a huge family, and we all stay connected all the time.
very responsible, a great mom, pregnant 9 months. Brian, I just want to nail something down. Okay. So if she had her phone with her and she, like most of us, is very careful about keeping it charged, it doesn't matter, Brian, if she had run out of minutes. Is that correct?
That's correct. It changes things a bit because it's not communicating with the towers as much as a phone that has service. So on your phone that has service, you might have 100 different applications that are communicating out to the internet and through the tower. All right. When that service is off, you only have that emergency beacon and GPS and the ability to make a call to the cell phone company.
I mean, it's a pretty busy town too. It looks like it's a pretty busy town. That's why I try to go to the streets address just to see if I could see any cameras around. Hold on a second here. Let's get out of this here. So go back to the map here. So this is Connecticut Street here. This is Connecticut Street here, right? And this is a house here. I don't know what that is here. Let's go take a little drive here. This is Connecticut Street. So this is 25th Ave here. East 25th Ave here is this. Connecticut Street is here. So let's take a trip. It looks like a boarded up business there. I don't know when this was done. This was done April 2024. So this is fairly new. Let's go the other way. I don't see any cameras. Do you see any cameras? Where am I? So I'm going back towards Connecticut Street here. There's a house there. I don't think there's any cameras there whatsoever. Maybe. And so these are all apartments here. I mean, there might be cameras around, but this is there's 70,000 people here in this town, so it's a pretty busy place. So, but in this general area, I don't know if that's where she went missing, but I don't see a lot of places for cameras. So, who knows? All right, let's go back to this here. Go here.
Back to Sister Abby joining us. Abby, my control room just came into my ear and told me that Emma's father, Jason, actually had to walk out of the room. What happened?
It's a lot emotionally. This is one of the hardest things our family has ever dealt with, and I wouldn't say he wants to admit that he feels broken or unable to do anything to help. And this is breaking. It's breaking everybody. He's broken.
Isn't your dad a war vet?
Yes.
Yes.
What war was he in?
Iraq. He went to Iraq.
So this is a man that's faced the enemy far from home and fought bravely, and he cannot talk about Emma's disappearance. What has this done to him? What has this done to him?
He wants to do what is right so we can make sure we have the correct justice, and it's just really hard emotionally. He feels like his country has turned his back on his children, and he has put all the effort into making it safe for everybody. And
These poor freaking people. It's just so depressing. It just is. You just want to help.
And it's just not. It's still not. So it's probably hurting him in a way that none of us will ever understand, but we see it.
For those of you joining us and just joining us now, there is a desperate.
One of the mod's phone is slipping and hiding people by mistake. He was in T's chat earlier. Okay, so I don't know. Go back to this.
Search right now in Gary, Indiana and beyond for a 25-year-old pregnant mom, Emma Baum. Please help us.
All right, so can I copy this, you think? No, I can't. All right, so I want to go move on. I'll keep an eye on this here. This is just freaking depressing. It's just so absolutely horrible. All right, I'm going to go to this here. I do want to do a little of this here. I've been unhiding them, Dave. It's fixed, Dave. Okay, thank you. I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what was going on. Sorry about that. If anybody's been being hidden, I wouldn't even know how to do that, to be honest with you. So let's go here to the Kobayashi's case here. This is another one here that's. This is awful. You know, these poor people. You know, they were just enjoying their life in Hawaii, Maui, and you know, their daughter boards a plane. You know, to go have some fun in her life, to see the country, you know, Los Angeles, go to New York. She had a whole itinerary planned, and then she just goes freaking missing. It's just horrible. Just so your life now is just completely just.
For a woman who flew to.
So, anyways, people don't know about this woman here. I covered this a little bit last week here. She went missing, I think, on the 11th. She was last seen on the 11th of November. Hannah Kobayashi's family pleads with everybody to help find her. I mean, she's just disappeared off the face of the earth.
LA and disappeared. Family members say they were desperate for answers and they took to the streets tonight pleading for help finding
Thank
her.
you.
And KCAL's Gio Insignaris is live.
Thank you, Karen, for doing that.
Outside Crypto.com arena, where those family members hoped to spark someone's memory. Gio.
Pat, good evening to you. The point of today's rally was to muster support, bring out more volunteers, and support the family in finding Hannah Kobayashi. And doing it here outside of Crypto.com arena right before a Laker game this evening was to get as many.
It's just so weird. It's like the text, the phone texts, and everything. I don't think any of the phone texts were her. They just don't sound. They don't sound normal. So this is they did a thing here right outside the Laker game. I think it was the other night. They were handing out flyers and trying to get some awareness on this. It's just you just feel this is just awful.
Many eyeballs on this as possible. That includes shifting eyes to banners such as these that have been posted just about everywhere by the family, by volunteers, by others. They were handed out. You see them here posted along the street light as well.
So cool. Look at these things.
Big and small, any way to get this message across, as the family is still hopeful Hannah will be found soon.
We're looking for a missing girl. This is her.
The continued search for Hannah Kobayashi is a heavy team effort.
I could go to Rosa Parks in that area specifically. Would you be? Yeah, I mean that would be great. Because that's one of the areas.
No, none of that stuff sounds right. None of that stuff in her phone sounds. I mean, she wasn't going on a spiritual experience. She was planning on going to New York, so she just missed her flight. You know, and I don't know how truthful that is either.
That she was specifically at. Yeah.
Outside of Crypto.com arena today, family and volunteers handing out flyers and mapping out Hannah's known locations since she went missing almost 2 weeks ago.
We're hoping that it puts a bit of pressure on the LAPD.
I just want to help these people so much. These poor people. This guy here.
To see that we are here and we are not going away. And we need your help.
Her aunt, Lori Pigeon, says this all goes back to Friday, November 8th, when Hannah flew.
So there she is there, right? This place is fairly empty, right? This is bizarre. This is LAX airport, right? This place, there's the baggage claim area there. There's nobody here. Nobody. She's usually, I mean, that I'm assuming that's her phone right there that she has in her hands. I'm assuming there's her luggage there. So she's got her luggage.
From Maui to LAX, but then missed her connecting flight to New York.
I mean, look at all these people.
Family says she then went to go sightseeing at the Grove the next day, November 9th, while she waited for standby
That's her there at the Grove, right outside of the Grove.
flights.
I think her layover was like 14 hours.
But then that's when Kobayashi's aunt.
Well, she missed her flight to New York, so she didn't have a layover. It wasn't a layover. It was probably just she had to find another flight, but apparently she did. I think she found another flight to New York, but she had a whole list of itinerary stuff she wanted to do once she got to New York. So she wasn't planning on doing anything in LA.
Says things got scary.
We started getting cryptic messages about her not feeling safe, her things like the Matrix, things that were so out of her character.
She eventually told her family she was headed back to the airport to go to New York. Kobayashi's aunt says her niece's phone was last pinged at LAX November 11th, and no one has heard from her since.
So her phone last pinged. I have this all written down somewhere, but I don't have that piece of paper in front of me. So her phone last pinged near the LAX airport on the 11th. Did they say what time?
Please come back, Hannah.
One has heard from her since.
Please come back, Hannah. You love.
Was last pinged at LAX November 11th, and no one has heard from her since.
Please come back, Hannah.
The last pinged November 11th. Nobody knows the time that it pinged.
You love so many
I wonder if that was actually her.
people love you. You're just a beautiful girl, inside, outside. Just
I wonder exactly where it pinged. Oops.
reach out if you can.
One area of focus is the Pico metro station, because that's where the family says surveillance video most recently shows Kobayashi with an unknown person on November 11th. Kobayashi is described as 5'10", 140 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. She has freckles on her face and a tattoo of a knife on her forearm, according to the LAPD. To her family, Hannah is a ray of sunshine, a bright light they hope can make its way back into their lives as soon as possible.
And if someone has her, I want you to look at the pictures that we have posted. I want you to see this family, and I want you to know that she is so loved, and she is so special and kind.
Understandably emotional there. The family, meantime, has a GoFundMe account set up, a fundraising page to try and help them get through expenses. At last check, it is near its $20,000 goal. In the meantime, LAPD is looking into this case. They tell us it is still an ongoing investigation. Reporting from downtown LA this evening, I'm Gio Insignares, KCAL News.
All right, so let's do this one here, and then what's this here? Let's do this one here.
Well, it's been almost a week now since a 31-year-old Maui woman disappeared in California. Los Angeles police have officially listed Hannah Kobayashi.
So this was done. The last one we watched was the latest. This was done 7 days ago. So
as a missing person, and some members of her family are on the ground there hoping to find her. Bryce Moore follows up.
Hannah Kobayashi's aunt drove 6 hours from Big Sur to Los Angeles to try and help find her niece. Airport authorities released this photo taken before Hannah
So this is,
was supposed to get on her connecting.
I'm assuming this is her getting off the tarmac. This is her getting off the plane here and heading. What's this? Is that a phone, you think?
Flight to New York on November
Does that look like a phone?
8th.
The LAPDX has been helpful. They have been trying to find Cece's footage. We got that picture of her deboarding the airplane.
Her family says seemed to change tone before stopping completely. And a strange post on her Instagram on November 10th with a LeBron James and Nike logo was discovered to be from an
Yeah, they're saying now that they have information from law enforcement that they can't share. But that she was with somebody else, and she wasn't looking good. But that's all they can say. They can't say anything more. So, and she was last at the train station, just I think right outside of the Grove there. That's what I heard, anyways. I think.
An event at the Grove. They searched the internet for any video taken by attendees and found this short clip that shows Hannah walking with headphones on.
We are
See, that's her there, right? So that's even this whole thing looks weird. Just walks into this. Apparently, they got this person who was taking this cell phone image, and that's how they. She wearing headphones for.
With headphones on.
See the headphones? Did she have headphones when she got off the airplane? Where am I? I'm at. I don't know. I'll do this on my own time, I guess. But she's got headphones on there.
We are.
She looks lost. Doesn't she look lost? She looks like, where the hell am I?
100% positive. And as of today, we spoke with that videographer who made that video and got a timestamp that she was here at the Grove at 3:40 p.m. on Sunday. This is going on 6 days that we have not seen her, and her phone has been off.
I've been going over this for the last 3 days. She just comes into this frame here.
We have not seen her.
She just looks lost. Like, I would have tried to just get on a plane immediately, right? I mean,
and her phone has been off
what is this clock here?
For 6 days. Hannah's sweet and loving and kind, and she wouldn't make any of us worry.
Hannah's dad and another
She doesn't look like this in that image. I can tell you that much right now, because she looks happy here, but in this, she does not look happy. She looks lost. She looks like she doesn't know she doesn't even know where she is. And I've been going over this to see whether or not she was drugged here or somebody drugged her.
Seen her. And
she just looks really weird here. Like, I don't know.
Her phone has
Maybe it's just me.
been off for 6 days. Hannah's sweet and loving and kind, and she wouldn't make any of us worry.
Hannah's dad and another aunt are also in California to find her. Hannah's older sister is flying out tonight to help too, while her mom will remain in Hawaii with Hannah's baby sister, Hope.
We have like an unwritten rule that we always.
Are you talking about that video where her by the Grove, Karen? She looks drugged in that. She kind of looks like she's not, she's not. I don't know. I mean, I would think she looked a little bit befuddled in that video. I mean, she definitely looks lost. She doesn't look like this, right? She doesn't look like smile on her face. She just kind of looks weirded out.
Check in. No matter if it's me, Sid, Hope.
So this is her sister here, and this is the mom here, I think.
Or Hannah, that it's like, okay, I'm here and I'm safe. It's not a normal behavior of hers to just completely disappear or to have.
So this is what I'm talking about. We went over this last week. This is her itinerary of what Notes in mind, this is 11/9/2024. This is the vacation time that she had, so 11/16/2024. 11:09, check into hotel. Arrive at 7:28 a.m. JFK. That sounds normal. So she had a shitload planned. Open flow, meaning go with the flow. Pioneer of techno, Jeff Mills. She had a whole itinerary of what she wanted to do, and this to me doesn't tell me that she just took off. I mean, this
something so planned out, because once she has her mindset on something as far as traveling, and
Become hell or
high water, she's there.
And that is why we are so grateful for the news outlets, for the media, for everyone covering this and trying to help us find our missing, niece, daughter, sister.
Hannah's phone was last located at the Los Angeles International Airport.
So this is last located at the Los Angeles International Airport
on November 11th.
On November 11th. So here she is. She's 31. She's I don't want to say on the back nine, but she's not a kid, that's for sure. Female, other hair, brown eyes, 5'10", 140 pounds. She's in shape.
Anyone who's seen her or has any information about her whereabouts is asked to call LAPD or LA Regional Crime Stoppers. Bryce Moore, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
I think this was a couple of days after. I don't think this was because she was last. She got off the plane. She got off the plane on November 8th, and she was last seen November 11th. So this has got to be at least a day or two after. And I want to know what this clock is. Is this a real clock? No, I don't know. All right, so let's do this one here. This is a really weird text messages.
First, a Maui woman is
This was done 8 days ago, so we're going back another day here.
missing. Her family is desperate for answers.
30-year-old Hannah Kobayashi was heading to New York to visit family, but never made it. Our Chelsea Davis spoke with her mom and sister, who are begging the community for.
Yeah, I think she had, she definitely had money on her, but I don't think they said anything about her spending anything, or at least they're not telling us, that's for sure.
For help.
Hannah Kobayashi loves to travel.
Looks different here in this picture, that's for sure. Like, she looks smiley, happy, and that image by the Grove there, she doesn't look happy at all.
The 30-year-old was heading to New York City on Friday to visit family, but missed her connecting flight out of Los Angeles and disappeared.
Didn't hear from her, and then I texted her, "Hey, are you in New York City yet?" She just texted me, "Not yet." My sister, I reached out to her, and I'm like, "Hey, have you heard from Hannah?" She's like, "No." She's supposed to meet me at the hotel in New York City, and we're supposed to go to a show tonight. And I'm like, "Oh, this is really weird."
Hannah only had 42 minutes to make her connecting flight. Her mom thinks she might have missed it. And this short YouTube video surfacing just today backs up her belief. It shows Hannah outside of an event in Los Angeles on Saturday. The last pin location the family has of her phone shows Hannah back at LAX on Monday.
We just wanted to get the word out as soon as possible, because the more time that passes, the less we know of what happened. You know what I mean? It's like, and anything could happen. Yeah. I mean, you hear about like trafficking and strange things.
The family has not heard from Hannah, but a friend did receive text messages from Hannah's number on Monday.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to see here. I got tricked pretty much, so explain it to me so that I can try to be. So this is somebody in her family, I think, talking to her. This is 3:49 p.m. I'm assuming that this is either the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, or the 11th. So explain to me, because I don't have a date here, so that I can try to be of some help to you. So she says, I got tricked pretty much into giving away all. This is not her. I don't care what this is not her saying this. I got tricked pretty much into giving away all my funds for someone I thought I loved. That's not her.
She got tricked into giving away all her money for someone she thought she loved.
She heard from Hannah, at LAX. She was at LAX, and she said that she was scared. She texted her that she was scared and that she couldn't come back home or something. It was just really weird text, and it's weird to me because it doesn't sound like her. Like there's just something off
I wonder if somebody stole her phone.
about it, so I wasn't too sure. I don't know if it's her or if someone else was texting.
They said Hannah was looking forward to seeing her auntie in the Big Apple, even making this handwritten itinerary stating bucket list dream.
This tells me that she didn't just, because people do go missing all the time. I know people don't sometimes think about that, but you never know what mental illness people have. You never know what people are thinking inside their head. So people do go voluntarily just missing. They just take off. They just can't handle pressures and stuff. But this itinerary here is telling me that she was planning on having a good time here in New York, and she just wouldn't take off. But you never know.
Become a reality. They have made a missing persons report with LAPD and are also asking the public for help.
Please just help her if you can.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I felt like. It was somebody, because if you go back to that, it's the person talking to her saying, "How can we help?" Right? And it sounded to me like somebody was maybe trying to extort money or something with a sympathy thing. I don't know. So this is the tip here: 845-750-3006.
If you know where she's
Either way, it's not good.
at, or you have the chance to just help her, just please, we just want to bring her home.
Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
All right, so I'll keep following this. It's just a horrible. It makes me angry. Gazelle's been covering this too, so go check her out. She probably does a much better job than I do. All right, one more thing, and then I'll get the hell out of here. I want to do this good news for once here. Let's stop sharing this. And then I'll share this. So this is a 27-year-old cold case here that got solved. This is Kingsport man arrested in connection with 27-year-old murder case. Kingsport man arrested, and that's it for that. I'll play a couple of these here. There he is right there. There's the press release there. Oh, maybe we'll do this one here. Let's try this.
Gives a little bit of closure.
Well, let me back this up a little bit.
On Wednesday, November the 20th, Sullivan County Grand Jury returned a true bill presentment against George Scott Robinson for 3 counts of murder in the death of James Hudson on September the 6th of 1997. Count 1.
So this is great. 27-year cold case finally solved. I think he's dead though, but it's something, right?
Alleges premeditated murder that Mr. Robinson killed James Hudson by stabbing him multiple times. Count 2 is felony first-degree murder, and the presentment alleges that George Robinson committed murder in the perpetration of a burglary. And count 3, felony first-degree murder, alleges that George Robinson.
People are so used to cell phone. Most people, I don't want to say everybody, but most people are so used to cell phones now that they can tell the difference between a text and, you know what I mean? Like the differences between people's verbiage on their phones when they text people. Like I know right away. So that's what I'm saying. If people you're in contact with every single day of your life, you can usually tell when somebody's not that person texting you, right?
Committed murder in the perpetration of the rape of Mary Hudson. Robinson is not charged for the rape or burglary because the statute of limitations.
And in my opinion, in the Hannah Kobayashi case, I don't think that was her at all in any of those texts.
limitations under Tennessee law is run, thereby prohibiting the state from prosecuting these charges. He's currently being held without a bond. The punishment in Tennessee for first-degree murder is a minimum of 52 years day for day. He has no court date at this time. And I want to thank the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office for the relentless efforts in pursuit of solving this case. And I also want to thank the TBI
So he's not dead.
forensic team and investigators for their cooperation and their meticulous attention to detail to this case that made this day possible. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Good morning. I'm Sheriff Jeff Cassidy, Sullivan County Sheriff. I want to thank everyone for attending the press conference today to witness a pure desire to pursue justice. Captain Frazier, our detectives worked tirelessly and relentlessly to solve this 27-year-old murder of 17-year-old James Hudson and the sexual assault of his mother, Mary. I want to thank our partners with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the District Attorney's Office to ensure justice will now be.
Isn't it building big castles in the sky, just the two of us, you and I?
Serve for the victims that are no longer with us. I also hope this gives a little bit of closure to the family. Although the pain will always be there, we are pleased we can give you some sort of peace and comfort knowing the defendant in this case did not escape justice and now must pay for the pain he has caused them. This investigation started in September of 1997. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office patrol deputies and the
1997, right? 1997 is a long time ago. What's going on with woman doing Creeben? Is she okay? Yeah.
Detectives responded to a report of a break-in and brutal attack at a home at the 400 block of Rock Springs Road in Kingsport. Upon arrival, they found James Hudson deceased. He had been stabbed multiple times. His mother, Mary Hudson, had been sexually assaulted.
Good. Thank you for staying, woman. That sounded awful. Thank you for staying, woman doing Creeben. I can't believe I just said that. That's hilarious.
As part of this investigation, the scene was processed and DNA evidence was collected and submitted to the crime lab. At that time, a DNA profile was developed and entered into.
Like a Neanderthal. Thank you for staying, woman. What the fuck? Phew, the chickens have vacated the kitchen. That's awesome. Aren't you supposed to get the chickens in the kitchen, though? I don't know.
The CODIS, which is the combined DNA index system, but no match was found. That usually means the suspect likely had no criminal history, but despite extensive efforts, the case remained unsolved and grew cold. In 2023, detectives responded to the case and reopened the case and began reviewing the evidence. Working alongside Tennessee Bureau of Investigation agents as part of their cold case initiative, DNA evidence was submitted to a private lab in Texas for forensic genetic genealogy testing.
It's the best thing ever.
Scientists there identified George Robinson, to my left here as a picture, as a potential suspect. Detectives located Mr. Robinson in Kingsport and obtained a DNA sample from him. That sample was sent to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab, and they did further testing. The TBI forensic scientists compared Robinson's DNA with the DNA profile that had been entered into CODIS shortly after that and found a match. That concluded as a match and that George Robinson was the suspect our investigators have been looking for since 1997. After obtaining the warrant on Wednesday morning, detectives attempted to take Robinson into custody, where he then barricaded himself inside his apartment. This apartment is located on Hillview Drive in Kingsport. Sullivan County SWAT team then responded, attempted to negotiate with Robinson, but he refused to cooperate. After several hours, the SWAT team made entry into the apartment, at which point Robinson shot himself. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment, and at this time, Mr. Robinson remains hospitalized. To further elaborate on the TBI's cold case initiative and the type of technology used that led to the indictment of Mr. Robinson, I'd like to have Director David Rouse from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation say a few words. Thank you, Director.
Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks, Sheriff. I want to first say that I can't imagine what the family members of James and Mary Hudson
I hate when they don't do this. Like they don't show the victims at all in these things. They pan close. We want to see the victims. That's what it's all about. But
have gone through over this last 27 years. My hope is that they can start to heal now, start that healing process since we have come to this juncture in the case. I do want to commend the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office for never giving up on this case and for taking this initiative to reopen the case last year. They knew that all of our traditional methods for investigation had been exhausted at that point, but they weren't willing to stop. As the sheriff mentioned, as part of the TBI Code Case Initiative.
Yeah, this is this is Tennessee. Sorry. I think it's Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, I think.
Agents work closely with Sullivan County detectives to submit DNA for forensic genetic genealogy testing. We were able to.
I mean, where the hell would we be without that, right? That's just like the best thing ever. Genetic genealogy is just so awesome.
Find or fund that testing through a federal grant that is specifically designated for violent crime code cases. We have seen some measurable success on using that FGG technology and testing in cases involving unidentified human remains from the 1980s and the 1990s. But this case represents the first suspect that's been identified by TBI utilizing.
It's a true statement right here from Miss Barbara. I would imagine it feels bittersweet to the family. It's about all you can say because it doesn't bring anybody back. It does not, unfortunately.
This technology. After nearly 30 years, George Robinson likely thought.
That's why I tell people all the time, you have no one can put a limit on grieving. It's it's definitely no time limit.
That he would never be caught. But thanks to the technology and
I freaking love it when they get these guys. I just do, because they think that they got it made. They don't.
The dogged determination of these investigators, he now knows differently. I want to again thank the sheriff, his team, for their outstanding work in this case.
All right, so I'm going to get out of here. I've been here, what is it, 3.5 hours? I got to go. I bored you guys enough, but you guys have all been great. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I'm going to keep following all the cases, the Hannah Kobayashi case, the other missing case that we followed tonight. Hiawatha's awesome. Hiawatha's great. Where is she? The Emma case. So we'll keep an eye on that stuff there. She might have been. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys are awesome. Love you all. You guys are great people. I appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody coming in here. And if I piss somebody off, it's too bad. I can't help. I can't help. I'm just kidding. All right. So I'm going to go. Timothy's Legacy. Thank you, Miss Barbara, for coming in. Thank you for helping out. You're an amazing person. We always love seeing you here. Hoping for better days for you here soon. Lady Monet, thank you for coming in with all of the help with all of the cases, especially from Indiana. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you very much for coming in. Women Doing Creeping, thank you so much. Heather Brown, you're awesome. Heather Brown's amazing. Charlotte, you're the best. Charlotte is an amazing woman, person. Who else? Thank you, Charlotte, for coming in. Mino Dino, you're awesome, man. Hope you're doing well. Keep up the side gig there with the OnlyFans. Who else was in here? This is going to take me forever. Let's see here. I know Mustang was in here. Jenny was in here. Jenny, we have your number. Don't worry about it. Jenny's awesome. Miranda Lee probably fell back to sleep. Karen Lee was in here. Karen Lee's an amazing person. Does great work on other channels, especially on the Mob Crew. And now I can't remember his name. Manimal. How can I forget that? If I forget somebody, I'm sorry. It's because I can't scroll up enough here. Shout out to Southern Gal and all the people. I know Paula was here. Paula's amazing. Paula's great. I haven't seen Honeybee around lately. But for anybody I missed, I'm sorry. I know that Tech Death was in here. Tech Death is awesome. He's got a great channel. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm done. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. I also want to repeat thank you for everybody that watches on the replay. I really appreciate that. Necessary Evil was here. Necessary is great. But anyways, I'm going to get the hell out of here. All right, so that's it. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. If I don't see you guys by next Thursday, you guys all mean the world to me. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you, Heather. And we'll see you all soon around the channel here. All right, I'm going to play my intro and get the hell outro. I'm going to get the hell out of here. You too, Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara's awesome. Southern Gal is amazing. Check her out. Check her channel out. Southern Gal's an amazing person. I appreciate her for helping out last week. I do for sure. All right, that's it. I'm going to play my outro and get out of here. Have a great week, everybody.